This is Bruce Buffer, and this is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time for the MMA Holes!
No way.
From the Hearn Studios of Arizona, Jorge Masvidal attacks Colby Covington. UFC Ohio Fight Week. John Doomsday Howard stops by to talk about XMMA 4 Black Magic with the MMA Holes. Yeah, baby. Welcome, friends, to the MMA Holes. Actually, this is not the MMA Holes, our second channel. The main channel got a little strikey poo. We'll be here next week on the main channel, but we're running a show here tonight live because YouTube is a pain in my ass. But it's all good. It's all fun. We're going to have a grand old time. A lot of stuff in the news as we have Jorge Masvidal attacking Colby Covington. We have Conor McGregor driving like a lunatic. He's in jail. Just madness all over the MMA world. Thank God we have a sane individual on the show tonight. Thank God we have a man that's a veteran of the sport. Thank God for Doomsday, the man who killed Superman, here live on the MMA Holes. Let's go, baby. Hey, John, welcome.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you here. I am actually a fan for a while. I've covered you when you were fighting in CES. You've been around the block, been at a bunch of events and games. I mean, UFC, PFL, all over the place. Now here you are back at XMMA. I mean, boy, oh boy, there is no stage that you don't want to entertain on, huh?
Yeah, I don't mind, man. If they paying and they want me to fight, man, give me good fights, I'm with it.
There you go. And would you consider yourself a prize fighter at this stage of the game?
I don't think so. Yeah, man. I definitely consider myself a prize fighter, man. I've been in the game for so long, man, and I've been in there in the cage with some of the best of them, beating some of the best of them. So I definitely consider myself as such.
And now you just finished up practice. How did that go tonight?
It went really good, man. I just left Dave Ginsburg. Shout out to him, Master Ginsburg's of Ginsburg Jiu-Jitsu. We just had some nice drills and some nice flow jiu-jitsu, and just feeling really good, feeling really solid right now.
Yeah, you know, a lot of guys, a lot of podcast shows, interviewers always ask, hey, how's camp going and this and that? But I mean, it's always miserable, right? I mean, you guys are in the gym 24/7. It's got to suck, right, training for these fights?
I don't know, man. For some people, it suck. I've been doing. I kind of enjoy the suck, man. I look forward to the suck, man. The suck needs to happen for the fight to be victorious. You know, it's just. I appreciate the suck because if I can't endure the suck, I can endure the fight. That's my mindset.
Spoken like a true professional. I don't know how you guys do it, man. I swear to God, it is amazing. You guys are athletes. You're in the gym. You live there constantly. How do you balance this with the family life when you're in camp?
Family life is a bit take a back seat. I'm at work. Yeah, balance just right. You know, I still make time when I can, especially if something's important. But you know, it's work. You know, right now we're gonna try to get for work. I gotta get ready. You know, family could wait until I get my work done, and after that, well, get back integrated with that.
You seem like you're in the zone. You're focused. You're ready to go at XMMA Black Magic. We're going to be showing the event live on our main channel, the MMA Holes. Very excited about that. How do you keep your head screwed on straight? You got guys like Jorge Masvidal beating the crap out of Colby Covington in the streets, and Conor McGregor driving his Bentley like a lunatic. How do you stay focused and on a straight line?
Honestly, man, the way I stay humble, man. Well, I just stay humble, man. Stay ready to say to myself, man. Say to my small group of people, man. Shout out to FEF Kickboxing. Shout out to Bridges MMA. I just have a group of people who I hang with, man, and just train hard. That's it, man. It's crazy what's going on with the MMA fighters, man. I know people ain't happy seeing that, but it's nuts, man.
It's wild, right? I mean, you have a chance to settle inside a cage. You know, that's the beauty of your job, right? If you don't like somebody, you could beat them up in a cage, or regardless of the fact, you gain each other's respect, and then this pours on onto the streets. What are your thoughts on that situation, specifically the Masvidal Covington situation?
I don't like that, man. But honestly, for both of them, man, they're the representation of the sport, man, and we're not street fighters. We're not brawlers. We're not people who go outside and fight. We keep our fight inside the cage. I understand stuff get personal and everything, words exchange, but there's no reason to get violent outside the cage. You know, keep all that in the cage, bro. I'm all for fighting the violence, man. Mm-hmm. But keep that in the cage, or meet up in a gym somewhere and, you know, sign the waivers and get it like that. But to do it in the street, no. We're looking like common thugs. You know, we came too far and fought too hard to be looked like that again. You know, when UFC first started, man, especially when in my coming up, dude, it was looking like cockfighters and just street fighters. Now that we're looking up as a professional sport, as athletes, we need to keep that mindset, and we need to keep, you know, good representation for that.
Yeah, you started in 2004, right? Your professional career in 2004, all the way back when. I mean, like, how much has this sport evolved through your eyes?
Oh, crazy, man. It's funny. I know I'm like not. I'm getting old in the sport, because it's like I remember Dana White said I would never have girls fighting MMA in the UFC. Now, having women in there is the mainstream thing for the UFC. So it's great. I seen the different like stages of it, man. But I'm happy to see what MMA became, man. It's a whole different level. It's a whole new sport, and we're not looked at as just cockfighters. We're looked at as athletes, as professional athletes.
When you started in the game, like, was it crazy how people were looking at it like human cockfights? Like, people were just like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. It was only in certain states that it was sanctioned. Like, and to see the evolution, like, how was it in the beginning, though, when you had to deal with all the bullshit of people saying that?
Oh, it was crazy, man. You know, either people will try to start with you, or, you know, people that prove you or look down on you like you're like you do something like just so disrespectful. It was crazy, man. Even like when I got into the UFC, man, it was still frowned upon. Like, oh, you're a UFC fighter. You know, we came from past, but now being a UFC fighter is the biggest, best thing. You know, it's almost like everybody wants to be a UFC fighter, you know, an MMA fighter. But now that, you know, it came from a sport where everybody's doing jiu-jitsu, everybody's doing some self-defense, boxing, everybody's doing some kind of foreign MMA that is getting involved. And now you don't only have like MMA events, you have grappling events is just as big as MMA events. That's the new thing too. That's crazy to see like grappling events just as big. So I'm glad to see it. You know, it's a long way, and I'm happy to see where it's at now.
The young guys coming into your gym and saying, hey man, how do I maintain longevity in such a physically demanding sport? What would be your advice to them?
Cut down the hard sparring. Stop knocking each other out. you get nothing. It's stupid. Like, people like my things is I don't believe in hard sparring. Like, I mean, like, let me repeat that. It's not that I don't believe in hard sparring. I believe in control sparring. There's times for hard sparring. I get it, but it's not needed too much. You know, like I go to the gyms and people like really have some serious gym wars. And I mean, I get it. You want to be a tough guy at school, but it doesn't help your body, especially when you want to be a professional. The sport is violent and dangerous enough, you know. I mean, you get hit the wrong way, like in your stuff. That being said, you know, less sparring, you know, more control, you know, and more pad work. And
so, yeah, I mean, you see guys like Sean Strickland throwing videos online where he's beating the living shit out of his training partners and everything like that. So if a guy walks in the gym and tries to do something like that with you, you're like, hey, man, I'm not sparring with this guy?
No, I'm knocking you out, bro. The thing is like Sean Strickland, like, I mean, I know him, and it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do, but not. Like, let's say he came to my gym and, like, I'm looking at him like, all right, bro, listen. I understand, I know you are, but if we're doing that, I'm going to try and knock you out, bro. If I hit you, you know, not saying he can't knock me out either. I mean, it's Sean Strickland. He's good. But, you know, I'm going to say it like this. Like, yeah, you beat Ariel Hall. I did too. That's exactly what I would say to him. Like, yo, you want to bang? Because we can find out real quick. I don't like that hurting your teammates so that there's no longevity. There's no point to that. Like, you're not even getting paid for that. Yeah, you look good. You might get views on social media. Congratulations. But now we're trying to make money, dude. Now do that stuff in the cage when you're getting paid for it, not for a sparring session. Come on.
Have you heard what he said about Khalil Roundtree? I'm curious of your thoughts on that whole situation. Have you heard anything about that?
I've been so focused. I haven't the details, but let me get it from you. What was said?
Well, basically, he was calling him a homosexual because of how he acted, crying, emotional after his fight. He said he's full of shit. He's an asshole, this and that. Like, Showman was completely throwing him under the bus. Paraphrasing.
Him saying that, man, I said I wouldn't do that, man, because it's all easy to talk when you're in a situation where you're not put there until someone's put you there. I just been saying that, especially in the race, that's kind of edgy. But that being said, I hope you're not put in that situation when someone makes you cry, because you're gonna get a whole backlash. So keep that same energy. If you're in a situation and you lose or something happens, you better not cry. Keep that same energy. That's all.
You've been in a lot of ups and downs. You brought up Uriah Hall, who's one of the guys I thought was coming out of the Ultimate Fighter. That guy was a scary son of a bitch. Uriah Hall is nasty. You knocked out Ray Cooper as well. I mean, you got some decent heads on your hanging on your wall. What does it feel like to knock a human being out? Is that an adrenaline rush? Like, what goes through your mind when that happens?
It's a satisfaction. You know what it is, man? It's like, honestly, it's like losing your virginity. Right, while everybody's watching. Like, that's the best. It's like losing your, but it's not only losing your virginity, but you're losing your virginity to like the hardest chick in the world, and like the whole people is praising you on. And not only that you did it, I was like, yeah, I finally did it. You have proof because everybody watched you. So I was like, what? It's crazy.
That's actually a very interesting analogy. It's probably the best analogy I've ever heard. You being in the UFC and traveling around doing all these things, these events, I can only imagine the women that you've bed.
I met a type of woman, man, but yeah, interesting. But I gotta be good. I'm not gonna speak so much of that because I got 3 daughters. So
yeah, it's a whole different
good boy.
It's a whole different world when you have daughters. Yeah, I have a daughter. She's now 10 months old, fresh in the game. But my mind is spinning because I think of all the crazy stories I have, and now I'm like, shit, I gotta be a dad. How do you pull it in?
Dude, let me tell you something. People are like, why do you keep fighting? Why I keep fighting? Because I got 3 daughters. I have 18, 19, and 15.
Wow.
All beautiful girls, man. And listen, when these boys and these men be coming after your daughters, be looking, trust me, that's motivation to fight alone. That being said, man, I'm going to tell you, 10 months on, enjoy these years. Enjoy. You are a god. You are a king. You are you're daddy's princess. You are everything until about 13. And then you're the biggest asshole ever.
Oh, man, I can't wait. That's going to be amazing.
Yo, enjoy. Yeah, you say that now. Wait till they get 13, bro, because then they still love you, but woo!
The door slamming and people screaming and yelling and, yeah. The emotions and hormones. Oh my God.
Just let me tell you something. Right now, enjoy every single part. You being right. You being like, she's gonna listen. She's gonna do everything you want until about 13 years to it. And you're gonna see it. You're gonna be like, ooh.
I am not looking forward to that. What about now? They bring home boys, and here they go. They're bringing home boys to Doomsday, for God's sakes. Do you strike?
Oh, yeah, I scare them all the time. Like, hey, listen, I pull up some fights, so that's me. So you piss her off. You gotta deal with me, and I really don't want you to be here in the first place. So don't get on my bad side.
Do you actually say that to them? You're like, hey man, listen, that's great. Yes.
I say, I want you to be like, yeah, like, listen, bro, I've been your age. I know your full intention with my daughter. I'm gonna sit here and entertain some BS. Like, oh no, I know your full intentions, man. Like maybe you have good intentions along your full intentions, but. Get out of here. You think you want me to praise you? No, I'm letting you know. You do something stupid, there's consequences.
That's amazing. They got to be leaving the house with like piss in their pants and shit in their underwear. I mean, I would be, if I was dating a girl and their father was Doomsday, I'd be like, holy fuck. I wouldn't even know what to do. So that's fantastic. Now, your wife, what does she think about this? Does she like, hey, pump the brakes, be nice, or she's like, go for it?
Oh no, well, I'm not married, but at the time, my children's mother, she's all for it. She's all supportive. Yeah, she's like, yeah, they need. She wants a father type like that to let these boys know to put them in check, just in case they get sideways. You know, I'm there.
So all the same mother, the kids?
I have two different mothers, 3 kids.
Oh, okay. There you go. Hey, listen.
Two of them by the same mother, and obviously, yeah.
Women are tough. Are you dating someone now?
No, I'm single. I mean, I have my friends and people I talk to, but I'm single. I'm just relaxed. I'm more focused on my career. I feel I got maybe. Oh, there it is. Sorry about the camera work. I got a good, a good few good years. Yes, maybe 4 if I'm lucky. And that's what I'm concentrating. And after that, maybe I'll look for a girl. But right now, I'm just kind of chilling.
That's amazing. So you're completely focused on your craft. You know I mean, listen, you're 39 years old, so yeah, you got to make sure that you make the money, you do your thing. What's the plan for after MMA? Do you have it? Are you going to be in the gym training, cornering? Like, do you think about that, or is that something down the road?
That's something down the road, man. It's looking like definitely training, teaching, man, and other avenues, man. I mean, with MMA, like you said, growing with the sport, there's so many avenues I could do. It's not only training and teaching, just so many opportunities that you could do, man. So I'm just gonna surf the best one when it comes about, when I'm in a position to take it.
Something interesting, when I was digging into your background and I was watching a couple of interviews and just listening to your story, you have a fascinating story about how when you were younger, school wasn't your thing. And I kind of want to dive into that a little bit because I hated school. I couldn't stand school. I was like the idiot, like this and that. And when I heard your story, it was kind of inspiring. Like, here you are in a bad situation when you were younger. It sounded like you couldn't find your place. And then, boom, next thing you know, you're a professional athlete. Can you take me down that path and how you overcame all those obstacles?
Well, man, school was different for me, man. It was hard, especially being on the spectrum. I know people don't know about that, but I am on the spectrum. That being said, man, it was different for me, a path. And then when I found MMA, it was definitely later in my life. I was about in my late teenage, and from there, it just took me a whole different way. I saw a possibility to do something different, something new that no one was. Only a few people were doing in the world, and I ran with it. It was difficult for me, but in the school and stuff, I'm glad I was able to find my way and find my greatness.
And when did that switch flip? And you said you were on the spectrum, which I was like, holy shit. So you were diagnosed with autism at what age?
In my late 30s.
Holy cow. So you're a good part of your life, here you are, like trying to wonder, hey, what's going on? Why am I a little bit different?
Yeah. Yeah, big time. That was an interesting part of my life. A lot of stuff people don't understand, like you even be saying that it was hard to admit that, being in those situations. But yeah, man, I had a lot of struggle, and now I find out later in life why I was having those struggles, and it's funny is coming to find out, doing more research about it, because people don't have the understanding of what autism is and how the spectrum goes. It's the spectrum is so far, it's so long, so it's so many variations of it. Where if you're not like, how can I say, severe about it, you could pass off. But if it's found, it's found. It is what it is. You can't help what it is. That being said, man, when I found out I was diagnosed, I was like, oh, a lot of stuff makes sense now. It makes sense why I am the way, and it makes sense why I train the way I train. Why I do a lot of things in my do, and why I do a lot of things in my life. Mm-hmm. But when I found that out, it was a comfort zone. I was like, oh, okay. Coming out was crazy, to come out and tell people, but I felt no shame about it. I was like, I can't help it. It is what it is. I felt that people in my situation, like to share the story. Hey, listen, if you're in my situation, know that there is, a way out. There is something you can do.
So now here you are, a role model. I mean, not only, as an athlete, but as a human being on top of it. I mean, a lot of people, when I was a kid, there was no such thing as a spectrum. There was no such thing as autism or any of this stuff. It was basically like, hey, you're a dummy. Like, that's what they would say to you. And growing up, you feel like, I don't know what's going on here. So 30 years old, you find this out. And what happens now? You're going to your family, your friends, saying, hey, guys, I got to tell you something. Like, is that how you do it?
No, you just like, oh well, you just tell them like, hey, check this out. Like, oh, okay, but it's like they're kind of like not necessarily not a shoulder shrug, but almost like a proud shoulder shrug. Like, well, yeah, you are, but so well, look what you did. Be very proud of yourself. I mean, good thing coming out. You know, like almost like you didn't have to do that, but good stuff. You know, I got a good congratulations, and they were more proud that I was able to overcome all these crazy obstacles, even not knowing what I was diagnosed with, and not knowing I was on the spectrum. You know, they were just proud of it. So they were just like, hey, you know, just be a role model and tell people, show these kids, you know, struggling and having the same anxieties growing up, you know, that, you know, there's somebody out there who's, you know, having the same problem as them, but doing big stuff.
It's fascinating. And when did you get into the UFC? How old were you?
I was 26 when I got into the UFC. I was a kid. Wow.
That's crazy. 26 years old. You're in the UFC. You had no idea what the hell was going on. And what made you go to the doctor?
So you have to have these tests with these doctors all the time. Every time you do like a medical exam. So when you get a certain age, you gotta have like I don't want to say a brain exam. You gotta get like a CT scan, stuff like that. So when you do that, you have all these questions. So the doctor was asking all these questions, and she would start asking certain questions. She was like, you know what? I think you might be on the spectrum. I was like, really? I was like, that makes no sense. I'm 30 years old. She was like, well, some people catch it late. She was like, I think so. The way I was answering certain questions, and then she gave me another test just to see. She was like, I would go get that checked out. And then when I go checked out, confirmed. I'm like, oh, check that out.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Here you are, a UFC fighter. You know, the whole thing is going great for you, but a doctor drops this on you. It's got to be nuts. What was the call like when you got to the UFC? Now, here you are. You're at the highest stage, the highest dance. Was your manager call you? How do you find this out?
I had a phone call. Actually, it was Joe Pomfret, Joe Lazon's good friend, manager at the time. He got me in the UFC. Him and Joe Lazon did, and it was like, hey, listen, it was the GSP versus BJ Penn, the second one. They're like, yo, what you doing for? I was like, of course I want you to fight. Like, guess what? You're on that card. I was like, what? Like, get the fuck out of here, yo. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. I should actually swear not.
It's all right. You could.
All right, good. I was like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Are you serious? Like, yo. And then from there, I was on the card, bro. Not only I was on the card, bro, on that fight, I won fight in the night, dude. That fucking blew my mind. Here on the card with GSP and BJ Penn, I got fight in the night. That's crazy.
That is absolutely crazy. It was against Chris Wilson, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was Chris Wilson.
Oh man, in a war, a split decision. So you guys are bouncing back and forth. What was going? So now you're walking, doing the trot to the octagon, right? What was it like? What was the feeling like? Can you take me down that road?
It was actually it was bugged out because especially a big event, you got for now knowing where I am, you find something that relates you that can get you home in the cage. So in the cage, I'm like nervous. It was an undercard, so it wasn't a lot of people. There's people there. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Looking around. And then I got in the cage, and I never forget. So I'm like nervous. I'm like, damn, this is a UFC. The first thing I noticed, I was like, oh shit, the cage is as tall as me. On TV, it looks huge. The cage is not that big. I was like, oh, okay. And then the lights came on. When the lights came on, it reminded me of all the fights I've been in, because they basically use the same lights. When that came on, it was like, oh, that was my comfort zone. Like, I had a little freak out, but when that happened, for some reason, that became my comfort zone, and it just happened. It just fought. I felt at home. It's weird. As soon as they say fight and those lights come on and those hot lights that make you sweat, it's good.
You know, a lot of athletes have said that. Basically, you get in this weird zone. Do you hear the crowd? Do you hear anything? Or are you just laser focused on your opponent?
You're laser focused on your opponent, and you pay attention to the ref, your opponent, and your corner. That's it. Everything else, you know, unless you're like you're doing a good job, you know, you might entertain the fans, but most of the time you kind of know the fans. You just listen to what your corner is saying to you.
Yeah, how do you focus on that? Like, so you're the crowd screaming, you got two corners yelling back and forth. How could you isolate it? It's just something like you're just built with. It's inside you.
No, they know what names and numbers and triggers to call me by.
Oh, okay. So you're like a secret language.
So when I hear names, because everybody's like, punch him in the face, this and that, do this, do that. Everybody's yelling the same thing. What we do is I'm not looking for this. I'm looking for numbers. All right, do this, do this. The 7 to 5's there, 5 to the 3 to 4, option to this. There's certain keywords I'm listening for, so when I hear them, I know it's them.
Oh, there you go. Hey, if you're jumping in, we're live with John Howard, Doomsday, who's fighting at XMMA Black Magic #4. When are you traveling over to New Orleans?
I leave next Wednesday, 7 days from now. I'll leave next Wednesday, yep.
Next Wednesday. And the XMMA, I love what they're doing over there. You fought everywhere, so this is just another walk in the park, right? What can we expect to see that night?
I would say not gonna part. I expect my opponent. You know, I know he's a tough kid, man. You know, I think I have more experience, but I'm coming there like old school Doomsday. I got really in shape, man. I've been training my ass off, and I just want to show the world, you know, that I'm not done. You know, that my age don't matter. That matter of fact, my age is probably better right now. I have more experience, but I just want to put a show on and give y'all a great show.
You're a tough guy to put away, man. Watching your fights, I'm thinking about the Tyler Ray fight, the last fight against Ramazan. I mean, no matter what, you could be in the worst possible scenario, and you find ways to get out of these situations like Houdini. Do you practice these moments in your camp? Is that how it goes? Like, basically, hey, they put you in the worst possible position so you can survive these moments?
All the time, man. That's the way my training goes on. Especially when you get like top tier wrestlers, man. We just wrestle, worst positions and try to work out of them, you know? I mean, I thought me and Tyler Ray had a good fight. Even Agazama, him too, dude. It's just they just beat me on points. They got the better points. That's it, man. So I was like, you know, congratulations to them. You know, but that's the game. You know, you get guys who can lay on top of you and beat you. So, I mean, the thing is like, I'm still going. You know, they didn't destroy me, but they gave me a good fight. And the fact that I can still hang with these young kids, man, I'm still going.
And so if we put UFC aside, what would be a promotion that you've enjoyed fighting for the most? I mean, CES is a lot of fun. I mean, that's like right in your backyard over there. But what would be a promotion that you enjoy fighting at the most?
At the most, man, my favorite promotion so far, man, would be definitely CES. CES, they treat the people real good. And after CES, I'm going to say the PFL, man.
And now PFL, the whole battle for the $1 million and that whole thing, does that add extra pressure on you? Because it's like do or die. You have to win specific fights in order to get paid the big bucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. It is to do it. There's a lot of pressure, especially when I was fighting, because you had to do fighting twice in one night. That's the most scary part about PFL, man. Is that one fight. That 2 fights in one night, man. I did that, man, and I'm telling you that. Like when I was fighting, and now they don't do that no more. Go figure. But that was the most scary part, dude. Because, dude, I don't care who you are. Respect to the old Pride fighters that are fighting twice in one night. Woo! That's crazy, man. I mean, I'm glad I get to do it, but do I want to do it again? Probably not.
we had a Chris Curtis on, and he was telling a crazy story on how he had to do it. Like he basically thought he was going to retire after his fight, and then he gets the call that he had to fight Ray Cooper, and that's when Ray Cooper knocked out Chris. But he had no intentions on fighting Ray. He was eating a chicken sandwich and had to clean up and go out and fight Ray on like an hour's notice or whatever. That's nuts, man. I mean, yeah. Would you ever do something like that again, or is that no more?
Honestly, I'm a prize fighter. If the prize is right, I'll probably do it.
What about something like bare knuckle? Would you ever entertain something, or like Triller, or what's going on with that?
Triller. I definitely do Triller. Bare knuckle, I like bare knuckle, but I like Triller. I like the Trillers. I like that mindset. Different too, man. That's a possibility, man. If I get an invite for there, I'll definitely have to do that. I love to stay with anybody. I don't care if it's a box or whatever. I love to do that, man. Also, man, another thing I'm looking at, man, a league I like is Eagle FC. And the reason why I like that league a lot, man, is the new 165 weight class, man. I've been looking at that, man. And what I liked about the 165 is a lot of fighters I can fight at 165 that I couldn't fight before because they were 155ers. Like Diego Sanchez, he can get 1 to 170, but fighting 165, I think is a good weight class for him. I can meet him at 165. I would love to fight him, to fight 2 legends. I'd like to fight him. Also, man, Kevin Lee, that's another name I would like to fight. I couldn't fight him before because we wasn't in the same weight classes. He wasn't fighting 170. I believe he was fighting like 155 at the time, but now he's fighting 165. I'd like to fight, people like that. You know, it switches the whole game up. People who could not make 155 become 165 changes the whole game. You know, and I think I like to fight, you know, a whole brand new breed of opponents I couldn't get to last time.
You know, actually, that would be amazing. Yeah, Eagle FC, where you fought in the last on the last card. If you fought Kevin Lee, I got to say, I'd be scratching my head there. I think you got a good shot. Kevin didn't look that great. Diego brought it to him.
Diego, yo, I was props to Diego. I didn't think that fight was gonna go like that. Yo, Diego, props to him. Actually, props to. That's why I wanted to fight him, because that was a close fight. I was like, whoa, I want to fight Diego. He still got it. Like, yeah, of course I want to fight Kevin Lee, but I want to fight something. I want to pick off legends. You know, Kevin Lee is definitely a legend in the making. But you know, Diego Sanchez, that's Diego Sanchez. That's the nightmare, dude. He's a legend. I would love to fight him. But I was impressed. I was very impressed. And yeah, if I could get through him, man, I think I could get through Kevin Lee.
What do you think about the people are criticizing Eagle FC for matchups? There's some matchups on some of these cards that you're looking at and you're like, this seems like a layup for specific fighters. Have you noticed that at all, or you don't see it?
I don't know, man. I don't want to say like that. I think it's just a business, man. People will say what they want, man, because people say the same thing about other leagues. You know. So that being said, it's just like talking stuff. I think the fights set up just like it will be in the UFC, man. There's been plenty of times where in the UFC you have these weird mismatches. A number 1 guy or number 2 guy is fighting like a number 13 guy or a number 15 guy, and the number 15 guy wins. You know, so it's just a reality check. Like, yeah, it seems like a layup, but that happens in the UFC. Like, if you want to get to the big show, welcome to the big show. Yeah, you know, if you want to be that guy, you want to be about this business. You know, if you get a high level fighter who that, you know, is dangerous, welcome to the big show. You can't say no. You know, and the thing is that I say that because people want to do this sport. Sorry about the camera angles, guys. There we go. But if you want to get to a big show and really be serious about this, when you go to the UFC, you can't just, if you get a big giant opponent, you can't say no. It doesn't work like that. I mean, I've been in the UFC old school where, you know, our undercard guy was the freaking main event. I'll never forget that. It was like his second time to the UFC. He's fighting a main card guy. I forget the name, but he was on the undercard, and all of a sudden he was fighting a guy who was like contending the championship. And the funny part is the guy beat him.
In this sport, I mean, 4-ounce gloves, you never know, right? So you're saying even if it's a lopsided matchup on paper, there's always that chance, right?
There's always that chance. The fight's a fight, man. If it seems like a lopsided, it seems like that. But yo, if anyone wants to compete in a big show, you know, take those lopsided fights, because you never know. That's still another human across from you.
Do you actually, you know, now I'm thinking about it, Bill Vigil, who runs Ammo, I don't know if you're familiar with Ammo Fight League. I think they're out of Massachusetts as well. This is a horrible story, but someone made their pro debut and died 2 days after competing inside one of that event over there. It's a crazy story. What are your thoughts? I mean, like, does it ever cross your mind, you know, hey, you know, how long do I want to go with this? Because it's a very dangerous sport that you compete in.
Yeah, man. The way I feel about that, man, yeah, it is dangerous, man. But life is dangerous, especially mine. If you know my history, man, I came from a dangerous neighborhood, man, and came up, dude. And, you know, I'm kind of used to that being an atmosphere. I mean, I'm lucky to be alive, man. That's the neighborhood I came out of. That being said, bro, you know, yeah, it's dangerous, man, but such is life, man. You know, you take the risk that comes, man. And not to say I want to die in the cage. Definitely don't want to die. I definitely don't wish no death on me or anybody else. But that being said, that's a risk you take, man. And being professional, you got to do it, man.
Yeah, if you look at the percentages, you can be a garbage man and have a better chance of dying being a garbage man than an actual UFC fighter. So, I mean, it's not like it's the most dangerous thing in the world. So I see what you're saying there. Talk to me about, like, when you were growing up. So now you had trouble with, what was it, bullying? Was it you know, just a bad neighborhood that you grew up in?
Yeah, it was a bad neighborhood, man. You had to fight even if you didn't want to, man. There was times I had to walk down the street, someone would just yank me up, stop punching me. I had no choice but to fight. You know, fighting. There was no common sense in my neighborhood. I didn't come in the neighborhood with like, hey, someone to fight you, and like, hey, no, let's talk. It wasn't like that. If someone steps in you and just punch you in the face, you had no choice to fight. You know, and that was my, you know, you know, growing up since where, you know, someone would just step to you, for a reason. They can mistake you for somebody else, you know, or something stupid, but you didn't have a chance to explain. You had to defend yourself.
Yeah. So,
you know, so that was tough. It was tough growing up, but it made me the person who I am.
Well, yeah. When you're competing now, do you ever like channel that part of your brain in the middle of a professional fight where you're like, I'm going back to that dog back in the day, survival?
Oh yeah, a lot, a lot, man. That's why I said, like, I live in this. This is what I'm meant to be, man. Like, because I came up in an atmosphere where it was like brutal, and sometimes the days, especially days you want to be bothered. I believe people just want to beat you up, or if you don't fight back, they keep doing it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. You know, that's why I keep doing with this. That's why I don't want to quit, man, because I've been in so many situations where I had to fight, you know, and now at least I'm in a situation where I can prepare for this fight, you know, be there, you know, and that's why I keep doing it. There's been so many times I didn't want to, but I had to. I have no choice. And that's the mindset every time I fight. Like I do want to, but even though if I have a slight, like, I don't want, it doesn't matter. It needs to happen.
And when were you able to find that moment where you could remove yourself from that bad surrounding? What was the age?
I think around, when I went to UFC about 27, 28, I was able to, I had some good money in my pocket. I was able to move and not be around that atmosphere no more, and kind of change my life, put my life in a better direction. So there you actually, go. MMA put my life in a better direction, because if not, you know, I'm from Dorchester. If you look at Dorchester in Boston, it's not a pretty place. not in my time frame. Do you have? That being said, I'm lucky to be alive.
It's crazy. It's a crazy story. And do you have family that still lives there?
Nah, my family, not there no more. I have cousins, like, I should say my immediate family, but like, yeah, I might have some cousins and friends, but not for the most part. I get them out of there as much as possible.
That's great that you guys escaped. That's awesome. Crazy story, man. Really crazy story. And look at you. How did you turn out to be such a nice guy? It's crazy. Like, have you had friends or anything that grew up that didn't go the right path that you went? Like, I mean, how did you turn out so good?
I had a really strict mother, and because she really turned my head to the other way. You know, she wasn't really letting me do what like people did outside and everything. She always kept me on the straight path, man. Mm. She always told me there was another way to do stuff, man. And I kept with that. I didn't have to be, you know, necessarily sadistic. And, you know, basically I wasn't, thank God. You know, but yeah, she kept me on the straight and narrow for sure.
There you go. And was your father in your life or no?
No, he wasn't. A typical black guy story. Father wasn't there. Blah, 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 blah.
How old was he when he left young? When you were young?
No, he. All right, so my father's weird. He was in and out of my life when he wanted to be. It's just that's a whole story, you know. Any not to be funny either, but in a Medea story you want to think about that's me right there.
So when you hit the UFC, did he just pop back up and be like, "Hey, son, how's it going?" Was he one of those?
No, he's one of those that supposedly, I don't know how the truth is, right? This is how much an asshole my dad is. So like Boston's small, so like definitely you know you hear she say this is stupid. So I basically found out he's talking trash, like, yeah, that's my son. Yeah, he's in UFC because of me. Right? That's why. Hey, I don't know how true that is, but if that's so, it's like, so you're claiming, you know, my success, but you wasn't in my life. Matter of fact, here's the funny part. Matter of fact, you was in the martial arts and didn't even never help me. So whatever.
Wow. So he trained.
Oh yeah, I found out, you know, that my mother told me years ago that yeah, he was a black belt, taekwondo, all kind of stuff. Kind of makes sense why I fight. You know, it's because of him, but he's just not, because he's just an asshole not wanting to do with me. So trust me, it's been years. I'm over that dude.
Wow, it's crazy. So that's kind of wild. So here you are, you're actually a professional in something that he probably always wanted to achieve. He probably always wanted to be at a level where you're at, and you had no clue.
I have no clue.
Wow, it's wild. Now, say all is said and done, the smoke's out. He's still alive? I
believe so, to my knowledge, yes.
Oh, okay. So you're not Facebook friends, you're saying?
Nah, hell no.
Yeah, you're better off. You can't surround yourself, even if it's family, you can't surround yourself with toxic people, right?
No, you can't. This is not worth it. Like, he wants to be toxic, let him be toxic. I don't got time for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, if you're jumping in, we're live with John Howard. We're learning a lot. Doomsday, who's fighting next week at Black Magic XMMA 4. It's going to go down. Let's get to a positive thing here. How's this fight going to go down? Are we looking at a finish? Are we looking at a grueling fight? What do we see?
Definitely me going for a finish. I don't want to call for the fight. You know, I'm looking for everything possible. Definitely victorious. Either way it comes. I just said, just watch the fight. I've been training hard as possible. I know this kid's been training hard too, and I can't wait, man. He's getting the old school Doomsday. I've been training my ass off like a mug. So I hope he's ready because I am.
I can't wait to watch. And the Doomsday name, I mean, you've told the story a gazillion times, but are you a big superhero fan?
Oh yeah, I am, definitely. The reason why I became Doomsday because Doomsday killed Superman. So yeah.
And what would be your favorite Superman movie? Would it be like the new stuff, the Zack Snyder stuff? Are you into any of that old stuff?
I like the old school. I like the old school stuff, man. I like the original. My favorite. Let me see which one. Superman 2 was my favorite movie.
Superman 2, not the one where they took the hair off of him and they made another Superman, a blonde one, which was horrific. Did you see that?
I remember that. No, that wasn't that wasn't my. I remember that one. Was that 2? No,
I think that was Superman 4.
I think that was 3.
3 or 4.
It was 4. Yeah. I like 2 because I think 2 is 2 when he went around the world backwards to save Lois.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shit. I think Superman 2, I remember being decent. I remember when I was a kid, at least. I haven't seen it in years. But I don't know. Christopher Reeve, in the early days, was not paralyzed Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
He actually was a pretty damn... He looked like Superman. When you're a kid and you think Superman, you think Christopher Reeve, right? What do you think about this new guy, the newer guy that's running around? This guy, old buff, and I don't remember his name, but he's in The Witcher and all that stuff. What do you think about that Superman?
I think it's good. I think it's a good fit. It's I think they were kind of young with it, but I like it. I like it. I think it's gonna be that's a good fit.
My dad always tells me about the old school before Christopher Reeve, the guy that like threw himself out of a building or something like that. Did you ever hear that story?
Nah.
Apparently, like the original Superman back in the day when our parents were kids, he committed suicide or something. I don't know what the story was, but he was like the Superman with the belly and not all the chiseled features and stuff like that. You know how Superman has evolved is amazing.
Yeah, that's funny. Wow, well, not funny that he suicide, but he had a belly. That's crazy. Wow.
I tell you what, Doomsday is a scary son of a bitch, and you're a scary man. When you get in that cage, you're a complete. I mean, the switch flips. As soon as you step in, you're Doomsday. When do you turn into Doomsday?
Just when I'm about in the cage. When they point at me and say, "Are you ready?"
That's
that's when it comes in. It's right there, right in the cage. I'm warming up. I'm just getting my mind right. But as soon as they asked me I was ready, I'm right there. I'm ready to go.
There we go, man. Hey, you got me hyped up. I can't wait to see your next fight. If you don't mind, can we ask a couple of questions in our live chat? Maybe the people have some things to ask for you. What do you say?
Go for it.
Okay, friends of the chat. We got John Howard on the show, Doomsday. If you have any questions, drop them now. Here's your opportunity to talk to a man that's been around the block. The man's seen it all. Man in the UFC, PFL, CES, XMMA, all over the world. This man is here. And before I get to that question, what was the most fun place to travel to when you fought?
Oh, Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi. Wow. That
Abu
place
Dhabi.
is...
That was...
And when was that? Did you travel to Abu Dhabi?
That was, wow. I want to say, that was about almost, I want to say 8 years ago.
8 years ago.
Damn, 9 years ago. Yeah, I was like 30. I was just turned 30. So like, yep. Nope, 8 years ago. I was 31.
There we go.
That was awesome, man. It was different. No, what was crazy is just because when you go to Abu Dhabi, and your UFC fight, they treated us like we were a superstar. I feel like I was like Air Jordan or LeBron James or something like that. They had cut up boards with us. It was just the way they treated us. You would think we were in the NBA. I love that. That was one of the best experiences ever.
Yeah, Abu Dhabi, it's crazy, and now it looks nuts. I mean, you guys, it's wild how they treat people from other countries coming in there. It looks like a blast. It looks like an adult playground.
Yeah, it pretty much is. It's just it's insane. Definitely, if you ever get a chance, to all my fighters, future fighters out there, go fight in Abu Dhabi. You would never forget that place. It will be a blessing. I'm telling you that.
I'm seeing a bunch of comments in the chat, and people are talking about the Jorge Masvidal thing again. I see, speaking of the mean streets, is it gangster to sneak up on someone and sucker punch them? You came from a rough neighborhood. You spoke about it earlier. What would happen if someone, I mean, like if someone talks about your kids, right? That's not a good thing. But at the same time,
Nope.
When you're selling a fight, what's too far? Is there a line that you draw that you cannot say a specific thing leading up to a fight?
Kids are too far. My thing is like kids are too far. Keep kids out of it. You know, I don't like talking about no one's parents or anything. But kids, the kids are innocent. Don't do that. Talk about everything else. When you talk about someone's kids and all that, don't do that, man. That's just too much. I mean, you gotta understand when you put kids involved, especially in your kid sees it, because you gotta understand as a parent, your kid sees that, and then you know your kid's like, hey, you gonna let him talk trash about me, not defend me? You know, not to say that Masvidal was right or you know anything like that, but still, that wasn't too far. You know, I mean, I understand, but I still agree. Even though the kids are too far, my thing is if you're gonna do that on the street, you might as well like either try to get another fight or like, listen, let's just meet up in gym and have this fight, bro.
Mm-hmm. That is bizarre, right? I mean, you do have the opportunity. You have gyms where you can just meet up and link up and get it done again. And he did have the opportunity within the UFC regulations. I mean, it is wild how that thing turned out. It looked like it was like 5 guys that got involved, and he had a mask on and a hat. He was kind of disguising himself, but it was a sucker punch. It wasn't even a fair fight. It really makes you scratch your head. Like he just got a massive contract with the UFC. Why would he do something like that? It's bizarre.
Dude, I don't know. It's crazy to me, you know.
What do you think the UFC should do? Do you think the UFC should take action or just be like, nah, let it go?
For anything, if I believe if it's that serious, they should fight again.
Mm-hmm. There you go. How do you think it would go down?
Fight again. If they're gonna fight on the street, you might as well have them fight again. You might as well. Like, all right, listen, let's have a rematch. You know, say or might as well don't fight somebody, get a win, but have a rematch. That needs to happen again because obviously there's still some drama there and it needs to be worked out. So let's work it out again. Let's see what happens. It was even though Colby done won outside the fight, Colby did a good job, but it still was a good, entertaining fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, Jorge Masvidal is always exciting. The guy's always looking to take your head off. And Colby Covington, even though he yaps a lot, he does back it up. That is one thing about him for sure.
Yeah.
Who is the greatest MMA fighter of all time besides yourself? Who would you say is the GOAT?
Who's the GOAT? In my opinion, I'm a little biased. I'm gonna say Anderson Silva.
I love that answer because Anderson's one of the guys that got me into watching the sport. Was he an inspiration? So when you were going up, I mean, hey, you were competing when he was around as well, doing his thing. Was he one of those guys that got you starstruck, or who was the guy that got you starstruck in the game?
He got me a little starstruck because it was just amazing stuff he was doing in the cage. It was just amazing. The stuff he did and the stuff he performed, the people he fought. He fought some really legit names, some big names. Even before he got to UFC and Pride, he was killing. People forget that. He was killing the Pride. He had some hard losses, but he had some great wins. And I think those great wins in Pride, made him the world champion in the UFC.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Yeah, the guy...
it was amazing to watch, I mean, honestly, it's fine because I'm biased. He is my favorite, champion fighter. My favorite fighter to this day, right, is actually Cowboy.
Cowboys...
Right? I met Cowboy years ago. I love his style and everything. I love his swag and he was just so cool to me. That's actually my favorite fighter. But what's crazy is now he fights at 170, so it'll be my luck. I probably end up fighting my favorite fighter.
That would be wild. Imagine you end your career fighting Cowboy Cerrone. Like, that's the finale fight. That'd be nuts.
Wouldn't it? Imagine. Yeah.
Well,
watch it happen.
why isn't the UFC doing this? Hey, UFC, come on, let's put this fight together. Cowboys, he's on his way out here. Let's go. Doomsday, Cowboy. I heard Joe Lozon was in the mix. Do you think they're going to fight?
Yeah. Him and Joe Lozon fighting. Yep.
Wow. And do you, I mean, you're from the same area over there. Do you train with Joe still, or you cross paths?
A lot of us cross train. We don't necessarily cross train with each other. We might do like a guest appearance to each other's gym here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Yeah, that's crazy to see Joe Lozon fighting him instead. I was like, whoa. Joe Lozon actually is one of my favorite fighters. So him being from Mass, he did so much criminal stuff. He's one of the people that put Massachusetts on the map. Him, Jose Rivera, a few the one of the greats. Yeah, man. So him fighting Cowboy, I'm really interested to see that fight.
It is fun, though. Massachusetts is pumping out some good talent. Yeah, Calvin Cater and Rob Font and William Knight jumping out there as well. I mean, it's really fun seeing the Massachusetts talent.
Yeah, man. All three of those fighters were also CES champions, man. So Calvin Cater and Rob Font for sure. I believe William Knight too. But yeah, man, they're doing unbelievable stuff, man. I told them for years, man, that when their time comes, they were gonna kill it, man.
Yeah.
And they're doing it. It's impressive. I'm proud of every single one of them. Every time I see my Northeast people, do bigger than the UFC, I'm just proud of that, man. Like, yeah, good representation.
Hey, I love the pride, man. Respect to you, and I'm really looking forward to your fight next week. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come on the show. And if you like to say anything to the community, here's the last words. You have the stage.
Hey, man, thank you so much. Hey, guys, man, please watch me. XMMA. It'll be at April 2nd, New Orleans at XMMA TV. Please follow me on John Doomsday Howard. Snapchat, IG, Twitter, Facebook, all that. John Doomsday Howard, I'm right there. And yeah, see you soon. Here comes the doom.
All right. Thank you, John, again. Looking forward to chatting soon again. Good luck in your fights and kick some ass. All right, buddy?
Thank you, brother.
All right. There he is, John Howard. Whoa, what the hell was that? Did you hear that? Someone called you a Gaylord. Could you believe that? There he is, John Howard. Thank you again for coming on the show. Doomsday. There he is, surviving the MMA holes. Sean Hart, how dare you jump in and say that? It's terrible. By the way, John Howard was the guy that I've been wanting to have on the show for a while. Doomsday, CES. We've seen him fight in the regional scene. The guy's been in the UFC back and forth. My man's been in PFL as well. Knocked out Uriah Hall. Knocked out Ray Cooper. A good man. And we learned a lot tonight. Let's get to this donation over here.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And this is from D-Rest.
John Boy, is you blacker than me?
John Boy, is you blacker than me? Ah, damn, I wish I would have got that. We'll have to ask him in the next show. Thank you, D-Rest, for the donation. Appreciate that. It was wild. I went to the gym and I was listening. I was like, let me listen to like some of his backstory here. Let me see what he has going on. When I found out that he was on the spectrum, I was like, what? I had no idea. And then I found out tonight, 30 years old is when he found out that he had autism. I mean, could you imagine you go through your whole life? I mean, 30 years of life and a doctor's like, hey, by the way, you have autism. Like that is nuts. What a story, man. What a story.
Wonderful, wonderful.
B-Man.
Moss hit him with the Gaylord now.
I mean, could you believe that, Sean Hart? I mean, have some respect, Sean Hart. Thank you, B-Man, for the donation. Appreciate that. We got his thoughts on Jorge Masvidal as well, who is fighting Colby Covington in the streets these days. Looks like he's going to get some time. I mean, Jorge's going to... We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. Also, Conor McGregor in the news. I didn't put him on the thumbnail. I was going to go back there and say, okay, my man got arrested. Let's talk about that. We will talk about that because it's like anytime someone else is in the news, no matter what the story's about, Conor's got to find a way to get arrested. We're going to talk about that. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hang in there. Hit the like button. We're on our second channel, not the MMA holes. We need your help here as we'll be back next week showing the event for XMMA4 Black Magic. But if you could hit that like button, share the stream out. This is our second channel, and let's go. Damn all right, YouTube asshole. D-Res isn't black. Maybe the doctor told him that he was artistic, and Howard just flew with it. I don't think that's what happened, but we'll be right back. By the way, the Gaylord button was a slip. Hopefully I played it off while I was like, oh my God, why did I call him a Gaylord? Fucking soundboard.
Let's be honest, when it comes to underwear, there's nothing more important than comfort. Why empty your pockets for generic underwear that loses comfort, quality, and style when you can slip into a pair of Sheath and get even more out of your daily wear? With Sheath underwear, you can treat your jewels like royalty as they are given their own private sanctum, keeping them secure and you in a state of bliss. Get 20% off Sheath now using promo code MMA-HOLES. That's MMA-HOLES with the link in the description below.
And for the ladies?
Absolutely! Sheath isn't just for men. Ladies can now experience Sheath's style, comfort, and functionality too. Sheath for women is crafted using a signature modal elastane fabric blend for form-fitting breathability that will not affect the natural pH environment or the microclimate of the skin while producing that long-lasting, unimpeded comfort. Use promo code MMA-HOLES, MMA-HOLES for 20% off at sheathunderwear.com.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good. Fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts. I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong. I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth. Can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it douse, not what I'm about. Have your fucking cloud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round. Bitch, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me. A slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't.
All right, boys and girls, did you hit the like button yet?
Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
Come on. All right. Hitting the second half of the show tonight. I literally took a break to apologize to Doomsday. I felt terrible. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I gotta apologize to this guy. He said I was gonna ask you about that. I gotta, what the fuck? Why did I hit that? I'm trying to hit this. I hit Gaylord. Lord.
Wonderful.
Anyway, speaking of Gaylords, let's talk about a Gaylord who jumped a man. Come on, Jorge. What are we doing? What are we doing, Jorge? What are we doing? So, Colby Covington goes to have a steak dinner. Yeah, so you heard it. Because I was going to ask you about that. I was like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, how do I... Here, I gotta play it back. Oh God. God. It's never slow. It's never a dull moment here. I'm telling you, we belong back on the main channel. Only this would happen. This is why you gotta be subscribed to the second channel, because you never know. Here, let's play it again. I can't fucking. I was like, what the hell? Let's see how I bounce back here from this. I can't fucking believe it. That's the first. We've been doing this for almost 6 years. 6 years, and we've never called a guest a Gaylord, but John Howard comes on, and then we call him a Gaylord. Here we go. And soon again. Good luck in your fights, and kick some ass. All right, buddy.
Thank you, brother.
All right, there he is. Okay, hold on here. Ready? John Howard. Whoa, what the hell was that? Did you hear that? Someone called you a Gaylord. Can you believe that? There he is, John Howard. Thank you again for coming on the show. I can't. Oh, my God. What the fuck?
Thank you, brother.
All right, there he is, John Howard. Whoa, what the hell was that? Did you hear that? Someone called you a Gaylord. Can you believe that? There he is, John Howard. Look at the poor guy's face. He's like, what? Oh, my God. Maybe I should move Gaylord button to the back of the soundboard so when I'm hitting this, I don't hit Gaylord. Anyway, yeah. So if I vanish mysteriously, Doomsday got me. Out of all sound drops, I have all these. It would have been funny if I hit him with the booze. They're all in the wrong spots. Oh God. Anyway, too bad. Oh, if Jesse was here for that, that would have been so priceless. All right. Anyway, let's move on. PFL guys get paid during season. Yes, they do actually. Yeah, I had to take the break and text in because I felt terrible. All right. So Jorge Masvidal. All right, let's talk. We haven't had a chance to really discuss this. He jumps Colby Covington. Colby Covington goes to dinner with the Nelk boys. He receives his, this is kind of funny, man. He receives his Miami belt. Let's see. I was like, what is going on here? The King of Miami. What? They didn't put on their IG? Hold on, let's see. Let's see if Colby put it out there. Tropic Tom coming in.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Jorge is just researching his role in the Tooth Fairy 2. Baby teeth are not enough.
Yeah, they fucking knocked his... Oh, my God. Thank you, Tropic Tom. Appreciate that, man. I'm trying to find the picture of let's see, Covington, Nelk. Okay. So I was wondering why Colby was hanging out with the Nelk boys. Like, what is going on here? And then this pops up on the interwebs. So the whole belt thing that Colby was talking about, he's going to receive his, King of Miami belt. Well, here it is. I guess the Nelk boys made it for him and decided to treat him to a steak dinner. So there they are, Nelk boys and Colby Covington. And then Colby Covington leaves the steak restaurant, and there's videos. I can't really play them because of the TMZ situation, but there are videos of Jorge and a couple other guys. They're saying 5 guys were kind of creeping up on him. Colby gets cold-cocked, blindsided by Jorge Masvidal. Masvidal chips his teeth, and Masvidal hit him like 2 or 3 times, and Colby didn't even see it coming. And basically, Masvidal had a mask over his face, like a surgical mask.
Wonderful.
D-Ras coming in.
Package delivery, kiddo.
Yeah, I'll probably visit the box next week. Thank you, D-Ras. Appreciate that. Because we're supposed to be getting a couple of things. So thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. We'll check it out. Yeah, so a sucker punch. And he's like, don't talk about my kids. You shouldn't talk about my kids or some shit like that. And then I guess he cracks him and then just runs off into the shadows. This is the second time Jorge Masvidal blindsided someone. He did it to Leon too. He walked up to him, hands behind the back, and just fucking started sucker punching him. The 3-piece in the soda, and that was celebrated because I guess people don't like Leon Edwards. I don't know. I don't understand. Even when that happened, I was like, why are we buying this shirt? Like, it didn't make any sense. I'm like, why are we buying 3-piece in the soda? He legit sucker punched like, we're celebrating a sucker punch, but whatever. I guess because Leon was talking shit first. Jorge looked cool for shutting him up with his fists, I guess. I don't know. He just knocked out Darren Till in London, and then he sucker punches Leon Edwards, and all of a sudden everyone's going crazy, right? Whatever. I went on a little rant about that. I was like, I don't understand, like, what's going on here, but he's street Jesus, right? He could do no wrong. Now we fast forward to this. He loses to Colby. The first thing I said was 25 minutes as well, like everyone on the internet. But then people are like, oh, it's not the same. If you say something about someone's kids, it should be handled and blah, blah, blah. You don't know the streets. And oh, God. Not many sports do you have the ability to take all your aggression out on another human being that's talking shit inside an octagon. You're getting paid for it. Jorge Masvidal signs a massive deal, and he does this. It's a good way of fucking everything up. He says he's not a deadbeat dad, right? There's so much to talk about here. Let me back up. Colby Covington never said anything about Jorge's kids. Let me make this very clear. Never directly said anything negative about Jorge's kids in any way. Now, Dustin's, said Conor was, Dustin's kid's daddy. Dustin might have something to go with here, but not Jorge. He called Jorge Masvidal a deadbeat dad over and over and over again. That's what he was saying about Jorge and his kids, that Jorge was a deadbeat dad. So Jorge doubles down and proves that he is a deadbeat dad because he fucking jumps a guy, blindsides a guy, now might face jail time. I'm a dad now, and there are a lot of dads in the chat. Why would you jump someone for words, for saying something about your family? Why would you risk going to jail? Why would you attack someone for something they didn't do? Because Jorge Masvidal never said anything negative about Colby never said anything negative about Jorge's kids. Never did. There was no reason behind Masvidal doing this. None. The only thing I could see is Jorge was embarrassed. He was dragged into this trash talk back and forth the lead up to the fight. And by the way, I will give credit to the people saying that it was real. I was saying, I don't know how much I buy into this. I don't think it was as real to Colby as it was to Jorge. I don't know. I have no idea. But clearly they hate each other, right? That's the thing, right? Colby moves on, but Jorge still holds the grudge. Jorge was called a deadbeat dad. He was embarrassed for 5 rounds. And then jumps this guy. Chips his tooth. Might have to spend time in jail now. What kind of father is that? Like, you just confirmed everything that Colby Covington said. Jorge, I don't give a fuck if you're from the streets. You're not from the streets anymore. You just signed a massive deal with the UFC. Why would you jeopardize that and jeopardize any time, extra time you could spend with your kids to donate it to a jail cell? Makes no sense. Everyone has ripped on me for being hard on Masvidal. The whole lead up all the way to this incident right here. I met Jorge. He's actually a very nice individual. We met him in the beginning of the channel. It's in our intro. Very nice. There was a weird story that I've told a million times. I'm not going to tell it again, but nothing to the fact where we're like, oh, he's such an asshole. May just owe money to my friend. Regardless of the fact, he seemed like a very nice guy. He was nice enough to do the interview. Super cool dude. Never got the idea that Jorge was a bad person. But when Colby Covington starts bringing this stuff up that he's a deadbeat dad, I mean, these guys are best friends. If anyone would know if Jorge Masvidal is a piece of shit, it would be Colby Covington, right? He literally was riding his couch.
Wonderful, wonderful.
How is what Jorge did any different than Conor sucker punching a man because the guy didn't like his piss key? Or any different than Conor throwing a dolly into a bus? Gotta be consistent, Moss.
Listen, think about this, okay? First of all, the dolly situation, let me address it. Because that's jumped into my head too, because I know people are going to be saying shit like this. Conor McGregor, with the dolly situation, his buddy, Artem Lobov, was getting roughed up in a hallway, right? Like they were putting their hands on him. Now, they didn't beat him up, but putting their hands on him, threatening him in the hallway. So what Conor did was he went back with his friends. He's like, all right, I'm going to fuck you up. Never sucker punched, what's it called? Habib. Never did that. Now, threw a fucking hand truck through the window. Shouldn't have done that. Completely illegal. Don't do that. Wrong. Not saying that's right in any way. But where's the sucker punch there? The old guy at the bar, okay? I don't know. I wasn't there in the situation. I have no idea what the fucking guy said. The guy could have said something the dumbest shit in the world. Conor fucking japs the guy. I have no idea. Did he fucking knock his tooth out? Did he fucking knock his tooth out? Did he go in there and beat the shit out of him like Jorge Masvidal did? No, he fucking japped the dude. He just japped the guy. Shouldn't have done that either. Completely wrong. You're telling me that Jorge Masvidal fucking planning this attack and fucking cracking on Colby Covington over and over again. You shouldn't talk about my kid. Bat, bat, bat with a bunch of dudes. Not even giving Covington a chance to even fight back. Blindsiding him is the exact same thing. Wrong. It's not. What Conor did was wrong on a whole nother level, and we can dive down that road. But it's not about Conor right now. We'll talk about Conor in a sec, because Conor's arrested, and he's in his own shit. Conor's a product of money. You know what else is a product of money too? Jorge Masvidal, apparently. The guy gets the massive check, the guy's street Jesus, and now he thinks he could do whatever. And this brings an interesting conversation that I want to follow up with. Because a lot of these guys that are fighters, when they taste that money, those big paychecks, when they taste it, they fucking think they're invincible. They think that they're above the law. Conor, Masvidal, I guess John Jones you could throw in the mix, right? It's weird. Why is that the case? We'll discuss that later on. But I want to talk about this situation right here. Because honestly, Jorge Masvidal has no way to defend himself. This is what Jorge follows up with. And this is why he's different than Conor. I don't even know if it's still up, but let's see. Oh, I hope he still has it up. Of course, because there's legal things, he probably... Nah, he fucking has it down. Damn. Let's see if it's Twitter. I would imagine it's all yanked. But this is what... Oh, come on, Twitter. Don't let me down. No. Hold on. That's taken down too. Damn it. Let's see. Jorge Masvidal. After he jumps Colby, he throws a video on social media. It's just fucking crazy. Let's see if I can find it. Damn, man. It looks like it's yanked from everywhere. If someone could drop it in a Discord, I'd love to play it. But it's basically like him gloating that he did this. It's crazy. It's just a series of mistakes after mistakes. Like, and you know, the sad part is the kids. The sad part is this guy just finally got, you know, he's where he always wanted to be, right? At the top of the heap, the third highest paid athlete within the UFC. It's just frustrating. If you're a Jorge Masvidal fan, you got to be incredibly frustrated. Because it's kind of like you had every opportunity. Also with the Conor situation with Khabib, they fought after it, correct? It wasn't the lead up to their fight. Jorge Masvidal had every opportunity for 5 rounds to take care of business, and he couldn't. So what does he do? Let's jump the guy. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Tropic Tom.
Anytime Jorge wants to track down Colby, all he had to do is look between his own ears. Colby currently resides at Cabeza Masvidal, and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg, just a tooth.
It's true. It's so true, man. It's so wild. What Colby Covington did is what he does to everybody, right? He says fucked up things to sell a fight, right? 5 rounds they went. 5 rounds Jorge had a chance to redeem himself, and he didn't, right? You would think after that, Jorge would be like, all right, whatever, move on. Right? No, let's just jump this guy. Or if you want to lobby for a rematch, then do that. Lobby for the rematch. Find a way. Now, I guess Jorge doesn't do jail time. The UFC loves to use footage like this. So I guess this will be in the lead up to the next Jorge Covington fight. I don't know. Sounds about right, considering both of these guys are in limbo. Colby Covington winning this thing, we spoke about this before the fight, it does nothing. Colby's in limbo. He has no one to fight unless he wants to fight like a Chimaev or the winner of Chimaev Burns. Colby's not fighting for the belt again. Jorge, if he won, he wasn't fighting for the belt again. Limbo. So who knows? Maybe the UFC says, you know what? Let's make him dance again. The beef has not been squashed. Here's the TMZ footage. Maybe that's what happens. Maybe Jorge says, hey, listen, I got to jump this guy to get the rematch. Possible. Felony battery charges is what he faces. It's just wild, man. It's wild. Nobody was hurt with the dolly. They all faked injuries and got paid millions of dollars. Yeah, they all made out great, right? Chiesa, Borg, they all got paid off the situation. But they did. Borg got, he says he lost vision in his eye. Doesn't look like that anymore. After his, I guess he's miraculously recovered. And Michael Chiesa had emotional damage. 100% of the rest of your neck boy starts shit like this in my town. They would get fucked up. Yeah, okay. I knew the bad blood was real, bruh. Goat Paul should challenge for PMF. Yeah, and of course, Jake Paul's out there going back and forth, you know, talking about, you know, this is his opportunity to jump in there. To me, it looked like a high five gone bad. Let's see. Babe, if the boys show up at your house, set them up to get fucking robbed, send hookers, send drug dealers, send them all in there to rob the rest of your neck boys. What the fuck are you talking about? Didn't Izzy's friends get sucker punched and killed a couple of months ago? I don't know. What's the story on that? To find another way to fight was the right way for Jorge, should have been thinking. Yeah, you would think. Although the UFC is, you know, they do feed off of stuff like this. If everything gets cleared. Now, what do you think about Colby pressing charges? Because he's catching heat. Like guys like Sean Strickland are going out there saying, oh, you're a pussy. You're a professional fighter. Nut up. if it was a fair fight in the streets and he pressed charges, then I would say you're acting like a pussbag. But if you get fucking blindsided, has anyone ever been blindsided before? It is the lowest of the low, right? If you are fucking hanging out with your boys and someone just comes in and just fucking cracks you for no reason. It's not even, he wasn't even talking shit. He had a steak dinner and he was fucking leaving the steakhouse. My man comes in with a mask on and a hood over his head, fucking starts cracking him. I mean, it is literally the lowest thing you can do as a man, to go in there and just blindside someone. Nothing was said. It is fucking crazy. Oh, you got in the Discord? Shout out to the Discord over here. Let's go. It doesn't make any sense. I just can't wrap my head around this. Here we go. Thank you, Drunk Savage, on the move. Here's the video. So after this happens, and it says media can't be played. Media could not be played. Let's see. All right, here we go. So this is this is crazy. He's got his hat on sideways, backwards. It's like, bro, man. Okay, I get it. You're street Jesus. I get it. Like, it's just nuts, man. I don't. What the hell was going through his head? Now, it was deleted. It's not on his social anymore. But what? You just fucking jumped somebody, bro. What do you think's gonna what?
Call this show your face challenge. You know, what's up? I'm from Dade County. You talk that shit, you gotta back it up. That's how my city rolls, man. Call this show your face challenge. You know, what's up? I'm from Dade County. You talk that shit, you gotta back it up. That's how my city rolls, man.
Yeah, but shouldn't you fucking do it to his face? Like, instead of fucking blindsided him? Is it me? Or is that even more of a low-life move? Like, it doesn't. How do you get revenge? You can't beat him up in a real fight? Why didn't you just hit him over the head with a bat? I mean, dude, this is nuts. This is nuts. It doesn't make any sense.
Call this show your face challenge. You know, what's up? I'm from Dade County. You talk that shit, you gotta back it up. That's how my city rolls, man.
You talk that shit, you got to back it up. How is he going to back it up? He did already. He did it for 25 minutes. He backed it up. He backed the fist. He backed you up to the cage. Took you down and made you his bitch for 5 rounds. How is that not backing up? He did it to your face. And you run in there out of nowhere. It doesn't make any sense. Has he lost his mind?
Get out! Get out now! Get out now! Get out! Get out now!
Get out! D-Rez.
Join together in the band.
Thank you, D-Rez.
Wonderful.
Appreciate that with the 666. The reason why I giggled. Brewster says, street cred is real, Moss, if you are hanging out on the clubs of Miami. I am sorry, but I can't take that serious in any way. First off, your name is Brewster. So, I mean, I don't know. All right, Brewster. Like, come on, Brewster. How do you know what street cred is? You're in a live chat right now with a bunch of knuckleheads talking about street cred. I agree with you, Maz. When you are the father, your job is to stay out of jail. Okay, well, at least we're on the same page there. Listen. That's the problem. Everything that Colby Covington said, everything that he said, Jorge backed it up. He literally solidified the deadbeat dad persona that Colby Covington was painting that picture of. God, it's crazy. But hey, street cred. That's
wonderful,
great.
wonderful.
Just signed the biggest contract of your life. Why would you do
What
that?
Jorge did is cringe because he had his chance to do it in his cage and laid an egg. But all joking aside, Moss, There's no difference between all the shit Conor has done to different victims.
God.
Just listen to your excuses for him. Well, I wasn't there.
Kainoto. The guy was talking shit to him in a bar, he jabbed him, right? Colby Covington was talking shit a couple of weeks ago, so let's blindside him. Completely different! It's not even in the same universe! Not even in the same universe! Think about it! Guy was talking shit, fucking turned his back, bang, jabbed him. Yeah, it's a fucking cheap shot, yes, I agree with that. But it's not even the same as a fucking guy showing up with a mask and jumping a human being to the point where their teeth are falling out of their fucking head. Does that make any sense? Bro, does that make any sense? No. What are you doing? Everything goes back to Conor with you. Stop being such a fucking nut hugger. We'll talk about Conor in a second. He's in jail for another thing. We'll get to that. Apples and oranges when it comes to this situation. Now, when it comes to one thing here, money affecting MMA fighters. There's a topic we can get into. There's a topic that we can dabble into. We will dabble into that topic, but I want to get some more comments from the chat on this situation. Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal. Let me know in the chat what you think. I try my best to defend Jorge, bruh. I don't know about this guy. I give up, says Demula. I don't blame you. I mean, come on. There are a lot of fighters that make mistakes, and people are like, yeah, I'm off. And I get it. The Conors, the John Joneses, Greg Hardy, well, he really didn't have a chance. But, there are people out there that make dumb mistakes, and you're like, I can't fucking defend this guy anymore. It happens, right? We're talking in the moment. We're talking about Jorge Masvidal. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand what the hell Kainoto's point is. It makes no sense. What do you think? If you think that Conor made such a piece of shit move, then what is Jorge's move here? Was that a piece of shit move as well? Answer that. Masvidal making sure and this is the best part. Masvidal is so fucking out of his mind that he's talking about Colby Covington talking about his kids, and Colby never spoke about his kids. Never said anything bad about his kids. Never. There was nothing in that whole lead up where he was talking shit about his kids. Nothing was said. Give me the quote. Where was it? Is Jorge that fucking nuts? Let's be serious here. Jorge Masvidal attacked Colby Covington because he was embarrassed to lose in a fight. That's it. That's all it was. Embarrassment. I would have more respect if Jorge hit the fucking social media scene and said, hey, man, you embarrassed the shit out of me for fucking 25 minutes, so I had to jump you. But instead, we get this.
Call this show your face challenge. What's up? I'm from Dade County. You talk that shit, you gotta back it up. That's how my city rolls, man.
That's how your city rolls? So you're telling me your city's a bunch of fucking people that jump people unexpected and fucking jab them in the face? Then who the fuck wants to live in Miami? Sounds like a horrible place to live. Hey, I'm enjoying a steak dinner. Let me get blindsided by fucking a knucklehead. Makes total sense. I demand a full apology from Jorge Masvidal. He must apologize for all his sins. He must apologize to his kids. He must apologize to his fans. What's going on here? How gangster is that to sober call? That's right. How is that gangster? It's not. Miami is a shithole, to be honest. I mean, it doesn't really sell Miami. It doesn't. Damn, man. It sucks, man. It's disappointing. Because I got to be honest. Like I said, when I met Jorge, he was a really nice guy. And you know what? He probably is a nice guy in normal, everyday life. When he's not fucking street Judas or Jesus, whatever the fuck you want to call him. When he's not this weird... When his hat goes sideways, look out. He means business. Why would you throw everything away? Doesn't make any sense. We'll get Jesse's thoughts on this when she jumps in. She should be here soon. All right, last comments on this, and I do want to jump into the Conor situation as well, because it is funny. You just can't have the spotlight enough, right? Jorge's in the light. Even if it's for the wrong reasons, Conor says, no, no, no. I'm about to take that attention away.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Colby Covington wants to kiss your hand. Donald Trump, can I kiss your hand? Kiss your hand, kiss your hand. Trump, you
Make America Guido again. Peace fu Jorge.
All right, now I want to hear from the Jorge fans in the chat, because we do have people. When we did our poll on the night of the Masvidal Covington fight, it swayed in the favor of Jorge. A lot of Masvidal fans out there. A lot of people jumped on the three-piece in the soda. That was assault. I mean, that was legit a blind side shot. I mean, this is the second time this guy's done this. Like, it's progressively getting worse. Like, what are we blind fucking throwing punches on unexpected people? Like, what? How is that fucking cool? Why am I gonna buy that shirt? It doesn't make any sense. It's crazy. I want to know from the Jorge fans out there, what are we doing with this guy? What's gonna happen? Are you still a fan? Every second I win, blah, 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 blah. Jorge fan hears is king of the dead. Like, talk to me, man. Let's make this a therapy session. Because honestly, it sucks, man. If you're a fan of the guy, I'd be bummed. There was times where Conor did things. I'm like, oh, come on, bro. What are you doing? What are we doing here? So I get it, man. I get it. There's, you know, when you follow an athlete, you defend them, and then all of a sudden they do something like a knucklehead. It's crazy. He hasn't thrown anything away, Moss. It's not like the UFC dropped him and removed his contract. They're probably going to use all of this to sell a fight. They probably will, but my question is this. If they get enough pressure, and if he does serve jail time, how much time is he facing? Let's see. Let me pull up the story. Because, I mean, let's be honest. What Jorge did was a crime. I mean, there's no way. If Colby Covington really pursues this, which, you know, people are saying is a bitch move, and you can debate about that as well. If he pursues this, Jorge could be facing jail time. It's assault.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Battery.
Jorge is pure street. Nothing he does should shock anyone who knows who he is and where he came from. It was a shitty move. I just can't wrap my head around Moss crying about this attack but giving Conor the pass with everything.
Kainoto, everything is not about Conor. It's weird, man. Your infatuation is like, it's bizarre. We will get to Conor, bro. Pump the brakes. Pump the fucking brakes. When I talk about Conor, everyone's like, we're talking about Conor too much. Not Kainoto. Kainoto's locked in. When I'm not talking about Conor, Kainoto brings Conor back up. Bro, get a room. Why are you so obsessed with Conor? Bro, just pump the fucking brakes. We'll get to him. Settle down. Thank you for the donation. Let's see the story. He's obsessed with the guy. My God, he's like, get to the Conor. I'm jonesing right now. Get to it. I need it. Stop talking about it. Jorge. More Conor, more Conor. The state needs to file charges of if Colby doesn't. You can't have people. That's true too. Yeah, it's a good point, right? If Colby doesn't, the state, you can't. You can't do that. You just can't. You can't be, hey, I'm the king of Miami. Let's go fucking jump people. Like, you can't do that. Ben Askren was going back and forth with him. Let's see. Did Jesse pull? Shit. She didn't pull it. She pulled the Ben Askren story. She didn't pull. All right. We'll talk about it. I'm curious how much time. Let's see. I'll pull the story. Jorge Masvidal. Looks like someone was about that life. That's crazy. Like, you're not on the street anymore. You're not on the street anymore. Like, I don't understand. You just signed a massive contract with the UFC. Everything's great. Yeah, the guy talks shit. It didn't work out in the fight. You move on, or you just talk some more shit. Hey, see this? It's a mouth. You could say shit. Talk about his herpes. I guess it's so funny. Jorge's running around about the herpes. He's running around about burning his fucking player's card or whatever the fuck that card that he had. None of it works. The fight doesn't work. My feelings are hurt. Let me fucking jump him in the street. Jorge Masvidal could face felony battery charges and alleged. I mean, he will face those charges. He will face them, and it's just fucking stupid, man. It sucks. It fucking sucks. So here's can't show the video, but there's outside of the situation. Apparently there were 5 guys with them. I only think Jorge is the one that landed the shot. A couple of shots on him. Chipped the tooth. They said fractured his tooth. I don't know how you fracture a tooth, but I guess that's the thing. But yeah, it's something else, man. It's a wild story. It really is wild. I mean, am I surprised? No, I'm not. Because, he already did it to Leon Edwards. It was kind of, here's the thing. And here's the problem. When he did it to Leon Edwards, right? That was a sucker punch. Not as bad as this situation, but that was a pretty, hands behind his back, walking up to him. What'd you say? And then just fucking throwing punches. Like, bro, you just got into a fight with Darren Till. You just knocked the man out in his backyard. Like, why you just talk shit, sell the fight? Like, what are you doing? Why are you punching the man?
Wonderful.
I say swap Kane for Jorge Free Kane.
Yeah, can we make a trade? That's a good one, B-Man. Thank you. Let's make a trade. That's it. I'm with you on that. Free Kane. That's a whole nother situation. That's wild, man. Cain Velasquez. But the problem with Jorge is we enabled him, right? The three-piece in the soda was a massive thing. Everyone all over the interwebs was just sharing this. People are buying the shirts. It was literally like it catapulted Jorge right back into the mainstream. Like, it catapulted him into superstardom. This whole thing. Now this is the new shirt that they released. If you guys want to buy this one, they made a little alteration to the shirt. Yeah. But yeah, here's the problem. Everyone was running out and buying this. So Jorge Masvidal, in his mind, is saying, hey, this is glorified. It was all over the place. Let's go do it again. Let's get the band back together. So he hit the streets, hunted down Covington, decided to proceed to beat the shit out of him without him even knowing. He was part of the shit beating. It's just nuts. What's next? So it just progressively gets worse. So was he going to stab the next guy? Like, what's going to happen? Is he going to do a drive-by? Like, what are we doing? He keeps on up in the ante. Is this GTA? Come on, man. You're supposed to be a role model, right? That's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Conor McGregor never said he was a role model, right? Conor McGregor was never upset because, you said something about my family or kids, so let me fuck you up. Conor doesn't give a shit about that. This guy fucking made up some story that Covington was making fun of his kids, talking about his kids, saying negative things about his kids that never happened, and got butthurt. It's just wild. A wild situation. I can't wait to hear Jessie when she jumps on here. I don't know what's taking so long. She's probably playing Elden Ring. Jessie's hooked on Elden Ring right now. She made an Ellie character, and she's I don't think that'd be hilarious though if she doesn't come on because she's playing that. All right, so let's move to the Conor story then. Let's transition over because Kainoto's he's like I need it. Let's give it. Here we go. Let's move over here, and this is fucking crazy, man. As soon as I am putting the thumbnail together for the Jorge Masvidal scenario, bang, bing, bang, a $187,000 Bentley seized in Dublin. Conor McGregor arrested again. He was driving erratically over, across the Dublin streets. It says former UFC lightweight champion Conor McGregor was arrested and charged with dangerous driving on Tuesday's March 22nd in Dublin, Ireland. Let's see. Law enforcement to impound his $187,000 Bentley Continental. McGregor, 33, was transported to the local police station and eventually released on bail. Notorious promptly reclaims his vehicle, but will be forced to appear in court next month in Blanchardstown. So let's see. This isn't the first time McGregor has been in hot water driving irresponsibly. In fact, the power-punching Irishman had his license suspended for 6 months after tearing up the streets of Dublin back in late 2017. So 2017, he fancies driving around erratically, and now here in 2022, He's reliving his Fast and the Furious. There he is. Conor McGregor tearing up the streets in his Bentley over there. Stupid behavior. Can't be doing that. Now, what's weird is, what's going on? Was he on drugs? Was he drinking? Like, what the hell's going on here? Like, or is he just like, hey, look at me Bentley. Look how fast me Bentley goes. This reeks of Conor saying, hey, I got to get, I don't like this. Jorge's in the news and Colby, it's all over the place. Everyone and their mother is talking about this. I need to get arrested. It seems like Conor's like, I need the spotlight, and I need it now.
Wonderful.
Now, I don't know what the fuck the guy was doing. I have no idea. There's really nothing to the story. It's just basically he was driving like a loony, I guess. I don't know. Was he drunk? Like what happened here? So he was let out on bail, which is probably like a slap on the wrist. I mean, it doesn't matter. Whatever the bail is, the guy's got enough money to pay anything off, so he doesn't care. But here's the problem. And we're seeing this thing. It seems like it's contagious. Although Israel Adesanya, credit to him, because Izzy's keeping his shit together. You gotta give Israel Adesanya credit, because Izzy knows he signs the big deal. He's still focused. He's making his YouTube videos. He's hanging out with his friends and family. He's doing his thing, and he's just walking that straight line. He's having fun, but not getting into any trouble. A role model, Izzy. Believe it? A lot of people hate on Israel Adesanya. Oh my God, I can't wait for him to lose. I can't wait. He sucks. He's annoying. He's this. He's that. Well, you know what he is? He's more mature than Conor. He's more mature than Jorge. More mature than John Jones. Izzy's a role model. He really is, which is kind of weird to say because he's a big goofball, but he's a role model. Kids could look up to Israel Adesanya. He's got money. He's shown that you can do it. But what's wrong with the other people? Well, I'll tell you what's wrong. Losing. Fighters start losing. They want all the attention in the world. When you're winning, when you're Conor McGregor, when you're winning, you're making money, yeah, you're doing fine. You know, maybe a little goofball things here and there, but nothing crazy. When you're winning, everything's great. When you're losing and you're all pissed off about that competitive side being crushed, maybe you're not talked about enough in the news, the attention, well, then it's a whole different story. And that's what I'm noticing here. Will Israel Adesanya hit a rut and start losing and then go crazy? I don't think so. I think Izzy's probably above that. Also, Izzy came into the UFC a little bit late. That's another thing you got to take into consideration. Izzy got everything out of his system, comes into the UFC, and now is laser focused. Izzy's no spring chicken, you know? It's not like he's ancient, but he came in the game late. So maybe that's the thing. Maybe Izzy came in a little bit more mature, been there, done that. Conor McGregor got in young. Jorge Masvidal, what's his excuse? Because when he became rich, he's pushing 40. Oh, he's a thug. I forgot. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe because Jorge's a thug. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But money can affect people in different ways.
You make him lose the fight terribly inside of the cage. You make him spread his ass cheeks. Now you enter his backstage and you fill it with your rage. Come on, style bender, one fight. Izzy is inside COSTA. Izzy is inside COSTA.
But Izzy humps drunk dudes in cage.
Do I at least get an assist on that? B-Man, thank you for the donation. Well, touche. I take it back. Maybe he's not a role model. He's humping dudes in the cage. Maybe the money is getting there. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's MMA, every MMA athlete. Well, for the most part, Adesanya is a role model. That, not so much. But for the most part, he's a role model. By the way, I want to say a big thank you to everyone dropping donuts. We're on a second channel. We're on Not the MMA Holes. Subscribe to this channel because this is our fallback plan. Our main channel's got 60,000 subscribers. A little break. next week, Monday, we should be back ready to roll on that channel. We're going to roll right into XMMA. I think CES is on Friday, so we're going to be having a party next week on the main channel. But if you can hit a like on this, that would be nice. And thank you to the donators, because it's some rough times over here on the MMA Holes. So I really do want to give a special thank you to the people that are donating tonight. Thank you very much. MMA Island? What do we got on MMA Island? If you missed the Doomsday interview, I'd urge you to go run it back after the stream is done. By the way, MMA Island, I got to give a lot of respect to these guys. I think it's like one guy. It's a young kid. I don't know. He's the only one I've seen, anytime they're doing any like live shit. But they have been killing it, MMA Island. So shout out to MMA Island for just dropping some crazy stuff. Like when the news hits, MMA Island's all over it. So they got, 88,000 subscribers. Go give them a follow. Say the MMA Hole sent you. Really impressive stuff. Let's look over here. Jorge Masvidal booked in jail on charges of aggravated battery with a mask and criminal mischief. His bond is $15K. Well, with the money he's making now, that's not a problem. He'll get out on that. He wants to spend too much time in jail. Oh, my God. Jorge Masvidal is currently in jail charged with aggravated battery. So aggravated battery. Well, he'll be going to court. I'm curious if Colby's going to really... If the state is pursuing everything, maybe Colby backs off. Is Colby a bitch? Let me ask you this. Is Colby a bitch for pressing charges? Actually, I'm gonna put a poll in the chat. I think it's a valid question. Is because there are a lot of people that don't like Colby. I tell you what, if it was me, I don't give a fuck, fighter or not fighter. I'm pressing charges. I'm going to want you behind bars because honestly, I don't want to be walking the streets knowing some fucking lunatic is going to blindside me for no reason. If you're going to fight, just fight me. What are you going to blind? I mean, it's just like a piece of shit move. Bitch for pressing charges. I should put would Colby. Here we go. Would Colby be a bitch? Okay, this is actually no. That's assault. Yeah, I mean, there's laws. There's laws. Now, if this was a fair fight, I mean, you shouldn't be fighting in the street anyway. But if there's a fair fight and someone's stepping up to you and you're like, "Fuck this, let's go," mano y mano, go at it. Then so be it. Knock you, have fun. If you press charges then it's kind of a bitch move. But if you're fucking having a steak dinner, you leave, you're walking to the car, wherever, down the block, and some guy just comes and cold cocks you. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It's literally the biggest piece of shit move. So, I mean, I don't know. They don't forget to add, hold on. Hey, don't forget to add that Colby was talking about his kids. That's important. No, Tony. Colby was not talking about his kids. That's fake. Colby never said anything negative about Jorge Masvidal's kids. It's a fake story, fake news, fake narrative. What did Colby and who said that in chat? Because I want him to follow up. Or yeah, Tony Rivers. Tell me what Colby said about his kids, because what Colby said was Jorge's a deadbeat dad. That's what he said, which is not the nicest thing in the world. But if you're going to get mad about something, get mad about what he actually said. See, that's what I heard. Tony, do yourself a favor. Go online and find the actual quote of... Now, Colby did say nasty things about Poirier, where you can say, well, like Conor was the daddy and this and that. I guess you could say that's nasty about the kids, but that's more about the wife, to be honest. I don't know. But then again, that could trickle into the kids' lives. I don't know. But a deadbeat dad was the line. He called Jorge deadbeat, so in essence, yeah, he's bad-mouthing his kids. How? What? How does that? I don't understand. Where is that? How is that connected? Where is that connected? Maybe on the streets? Yeah, Tony, check it out. Out of curiosity, because if you can find the quote, then I'll stand corrected. I'll be like, okay. Not that it's right, but at the same time, okay, at least, because right now, I don't know what Colby said about the kids that was so bad. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. He praised the mother. He said that Jorge should be around more for his kids. So, I mean, that's actually helping his kids out. No, I don't know. And if anyone knows Jorge, it's Colby. Colby lived with them, was crowd surfing. I mean, couch surfing. And he was crowd surfing. Hey! But Colby lived there. They were best buds. If anyone knows Jorge, it's Colby. And if Colby has herpes, Jorge knows. Right? That didn't rattle Colby in any way. He isn't bad-mouthing his kids. Anyone saying that has low IQ and isn't looking for at the facts. No, that's the problem. As a society, we just move with the herd. Oh, he said something like Jorge, say I'm a fan of Jorge Masvidal, right? And Jorge says, man, this motherfucker said something about my kids. That's why I did it. All right, fuck it. Let's ride with Jorge. It's my boy. But then when you start digging, you're just like, well, what did Colby say? Like then you start scratching your head. You're like, wait, hold on. And that's what we do as people. We just fucking just blindly follow, right? It's weird. It's like that with everything, though. It's not just that with sports. It's like anytime you admire someone, anytime you respect someone, you always give them the benefit of the doubt and say, well, that's the truth. Unfortunately, it's not always the case. Who cares what he said? What are we, 14 years old? You can't go around. Dustin, I'm with you. I'm with you. That name. I mean, you just can't. You just can't do that, right? You can't. I don't know. I think of it like this, right? If I was in Colby's shoes, right? If you're going to fucking fight me for something horrible that I said, let's talk about it like men. And if we can't resolve it, then let's fucking fight, right? I mean, I don't know. Is that what's going to happen? Sure enough. At my age, who am I fighting? Like, you could resolve anything, right? Okay, bro, you're upset. Sorry, man. Move on. Well, we agree to disagree. Let's move on. Like fucking adults, right? Oh, he's from the street. No, you're not. You're living in a beautiful home now. You got a beautiful fucking family that I don't know if you're around for. Who knows? I didn't say anything bad about your kids, by the way. I don't know. I'm just saying. I have no idea. Don't fucking blindside me. Look at John Howard, who was on the show tonight. Doomsday, who's fighting XMMA 4. This man was in a rough part of his life. This man, where when he was a kid, he had like a learning disability. He had autism. He was getting, people were fighting in the streets, getting cold cocked by the thugs and whatever the hell else was going on. My man pulled it all together. He's not running around saying, hey, I'm from the streets, let me jump you. When you find success, you have to, with great power comes great responsibility, like Uncle Ben said, right? You got to fucking do something about it. You have to. I mean, Jorge might knock me out. It's possible. Guys, I mean, if he misinterprets anything that I said, and that's another thing I noticed today. I listened to a little Paige Van Zandt on Ariel's show. These fighters, a lot of them, not all of them, because we've met some really cool people, but a lot of fighters, like, they're very, very sensitive with words. And I always find that wild because they're fighters, right? You think fighters, words, sticks and stones, man. It's all about the fists. Like whatever you say is not going to hurt me. I can fuck you up. Like, that's the beauty of being a fighter. But I think if you go back further, a lot of the fighters had some rough upbringings or maybe were bullied, and words mean a lot more than actual punches. Or maybe they're hit so much that words hurt more. I don't know. But those athletes, a lot of professional athletes, are affected by words. And in this situation, Jorge was affected. Paige Van Zandt was affected by whatever the hell Ariel said. Kind of hung up on him today on the interview. It's weird. It's a weird phenomenon. You don't really see this in other sports. I mean, not that I've noticed as much. But then again, I mean, what do I know? It's a funny thing is even... hold on. The funny thing is, even though Colby beat Jorge in the ring, Jorge is still a superstar and Colby is still not a star. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, no matter what, although Colby, I mean, Jorge's got to do a little bit of damage control, but Colby's shtick is not for everybody. You know, it's not. A lot of people are like, nope, not for me. So Masvidal's shtick somehow is more, I guess, palatable to the fans. Colby not so much. I don't know what the reasoning. Maybe it's well, Masvidal has a sense of, other than, you know, the sucker punches, he does have more respect, you know, in how he goes about things. You can tell he has pride and respect. Whereas Colby, you know, his shtick, it's really not. The only respect he has is to the troops and, you know, the policemen and the nurses and doctors and whatever the hell he's talking about, you know. So I don't know. It's weird. What I don't understand is how fans, like, they can't separate, like, the character and then the person, you know. And maybe Colby Covington's turning into that bad guy. Maybe that's what people are starting to see. They think Colby is turning into that person. I mean, Conor McGregor, you could say, is turning into this wild man. So I can understand why people aren't down with that, you know. Conor McGregor is a whole nother situation. That guy's all over the place. 1 minute he's a businessman, next minute he's fucking joyriding around like he's in the Wolf of Wall Street, all fucking coked up. And I mean, the guy's nuts. The guy's legit nuts, Conor. Money has poisoned that man, you know. But is he a bad human being? I don't know. I don't know if I get that from him. And I don't think I get that from Jorge. I don't think Jorge's a bad human being either. I think these guys are just making some really bad decisions. That's what it comes down to. Jorge's pride, his feelings were hurt. So he goes out and does his thing. Conor McGregor's buddy was hurt, or physically or emotionally, whatever you want to call it, and fucking flew across the country and threw a hand truck and says, come on, let's go. You know, it's irrational behavior, but when you have money, I guess you feel like you're invincible. I don't know what it is. Hey, Jess, how you doing?
Wonderful, wonderful.
It's fascinating, though. It really is fascinating.
I'd rather be a bitch outside of jail than a bitch inside jail. Or that time that Jorge teased Colby about selling the PPV. Look who's laughing now. Colby gonna get some of that PPV money.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? Yeah. Jorge just running his mouth saying he's not gonna get any pay-per-view buys or any you know, piece of the pie with the pay-per-views. And now Colby's going to sue him if that does happen. I don't know for sure if Colby's going to do it, but I don't see why he wouldn't. All right, Jess. I have been rambling about, by the way, I don't know if you heard any of the Doomsday interview. Great guy, another great guy. But by accident, I hit this.
Gaylord.
I did actually tune in for that.
Now, what would you do if you were sitting here and that happened? I actually took a break and apologized to him. I felt terrible.
Yeah, I wouldn't have apologized. I would have been like,
Well, I
shit
laughed
happened.
about it. I didn't say, oh my God, I'm so, like, I did say sorry. I usually don't apologize, but this guy's like getting ready for a fight. He didn't have to come on. He's in his car doing an interview. I'm talking about his dad and his tough upbringing. You know, guy spills his heart out to me. You know, it was nice enough to do that, and then here I am calling him a gaylord. But if you want to see that, run it back. But super nice guy. Anyway, okay. Jorge Masvidal, Colby Covington. You pretty much know it. Do you know what's going on? Do you have an idea?
I know Jorge sucker punched Colby and then knocked out his tooth or some shit like that, and he said it was because he was talking about his kids, and now charges are being pressed against Jorge.
Yeah, well, this is the latest. Shout out to MMA Island throwing this here. Jorge Masvidal booked in jail on charges of aggravated battery with a mask and criminal mischief. Criminal mischief. And criminal mischief. His bond is $15K. All right. So, dude looking like Scarface. Oh, God, what are we doing? All right, so what do you think about this? Tell me what's your initial thoughts.
Well, the bond will get paid. That's something he can afford. But it's well deserved. I mean, you don't just go up on someone on the fucking street and sucker punch them unless you're expecting some kind of consequence. And clearly he was willing to take whatever that consequence was going to be because he didn't give a shit. He just went out there and did it. So, I mean, I think the punishment fits the crime, and it's not like he's going to learn from this again. He's going to probably go out and do some other stupid shit. This is like the beginning of the end for Jorge Masvidal.
I was making a point how the Leon Edwards situation he sucker punched Leon when Leon was mouthing off and Leon was trying to lobby for a fight against him, and Jorge went up to him with his hands behind his back and then gave him a 3-piece in the soda, right? Celebrated the whole thing. And then this situation over here, like Jorge has that street Jesus thing, right? Where you don't fuck with this guy because he'll bring the street out. But what do you think? Do you think like the Leon situation, like, do you think that was acceptable?
No, I don't think I don't think it's acceptable at all. In any situation to just go out and fucking hit people as a response to them bad-mouthing you, I think it's fucking stupid.
All right, what about the fact, like, what about, like, Mr. Muay Thai in the chat saying, clearly none of you are hood. This is hood shit. Happens every day.
Sorry. Back off of your hood shit. Let's be real. From a rational point of view, it's fucking retarded. Hood or not, don't be a fucking idiot and go out there. It's not a rational response to someone just saying some mean words to you is not to go out and fucking hit them. That's the dumbest reaction in the entire world. Someone said something mean. Oh no, my feelings are hurt. Let me go and fucking sucker punch them and now get arrested.
How is it hood shit when this man is a UFC fighter? This man is in the top tier of the fight game. He's the 3rd highest paid athlete on the UFC roster. He's not in the hood. He's not in the hood.
But he's from the hood.
Oh, so if you grow up in a rough neighborhood, the rest of your life you have the pass to just fucking do hood shit. That's just fucking acceptable. Man, I wish I grew up in the hood. That'd be amazing. I could just go up and just fucking start beating the shit out of people without them knowing. It's like, what is that? I mean, I don't understand. And now, thankfully, there's only a small percentage of people that are actually going with that, you know, which gives us hope in society. But I mean,
you know what it is? It's embarrassment. He's ashamed. He's embarrassed, publicly humiliated by his arch enemy now, who used to be his friend, and his ego's getting in the way. His ego is allowing him to get in trouble. Because any normal person would look at this situation and be like, it's not fucking worth it. Let him say what he's gonna say. Let me move on with my life. Because nobody's gonna give a shit a year down the road. But he clearly gives a shit.
Yeah, it's not about he literally solidified what Colby Covington said about being a deadbeat dad. Because honestly, I mean, listen, I don't know Jorge personally. I had one interview with the guy, and I had a pleasant experience. He's not a bad guy. He didn't come across as a bad guy. But when you're upset at someone calling you a deadbeat dad, and here you are, snap, say cheese, it's time for your mugshot. Like it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And Ben Askren went back and forth. You do have that story as well, which is it's a little weird because, you know, Jorge, and here's the thing, Jorge said something that was kind of hypocritical about what he did and said about Colby, but then Jorge backpedaled and said that's not what he meant by saying.
Another thing you got to think of too is, do these, like, people like this, right? People who go out and irrationally just think the answer to mean words is to just go fucking hurt people, right? You ever think about your children in that moment? If all of this is about your kids, do you ever think, like, maybe this isn't the best idea for a couple of reasons? One, for starters, it's not a great example you're setting for your child or children.
Did he call his ex-wife and say, hey, listen, I know we're not together. Just want to give you a heads up. I'm going to go fucking beat the shit out of Colby.
Your kids are watching you. You know, they watch your every move.
Hey, it's deadbeat dad Masvidal here. Listen, I'm just going to go beat up Colby Covington. I'm going to drive about 45 minutes with my boys. I'm going to put a mask on, and I'm going to beat the living shit out of him, all right? Tell the kids I love them. What the fuck? Is that what happened?
So stupid. So dumb.
Wonderful, wonderful.
If it's true that Jess made her own Elden Ring character, then she needs to change her cooking channel to Killing with Jess. Stream that shit and farm that delicious simp money.
I made, I call it Ellie Ring because the character's Ellie. But where was I?
Well, the poll.
Oh, your kids.
Okay, good.
Like, you got to think about your kids in a lot of different ways. And I saw someone in the chat just say projecting your vanilla lives. It's not even about having a vanilla life. It's about being a normal fucking human being. You have children who are watching your every fucking move. You're over here. You're saying it's because Colby Covington's saying you're a deadbeat dad, but you're literally putting everything, all of his words, out in public as a true thing the moment you go out and fucking do some shit like this. And not to mention, if you're not a deadbeat dad, now you've just gone and done this, you got arrested, and you're not going to be present for your kids. So now you are a deadbeat dad if you weren't before. You know, like, it just doesn't make any sense. Hood or not, I don't give a shit where you're from. As a normal, logical human being, this is not the answer.
Muay Thai says these ain't normal people.
Stop saying that. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck where you're from. You're still a human being. We are all part of one race. You bleed red, I bleed red. I don't give a fuck. This is why it's so frustrating to me, because people think, oh, I'm hood, I'm from the hood, I can do anything I want. That's not how it works.
It's not life, bro.
The world does not work that way. We are all living in the same fucking world.
Do you have kids, Muay Thai? Do you have children? Because if you had children, I don't think you'd be saying this. Because would you want your kids to be walking the streets?
CBD.
Hearns with the CBD.
It helps with healing process and inflammation and stuff like that. So you wanted to get these for before or after the fight training and make your life a better place.
Nate Diaz totally burnt Jorge. Likewise, snitch on yourself if you cowardly ambush someone in a restaurant.
Yeah. Where is it? Thank you, Roberto. I mean, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Here, where is it? Thank you, Mr. Hearns. Let me go back to that video here. It doesn't make any sense. Why snitch on yourself? Nate's spitting facts. He's from the hood, right? Let's see. Yes, it's so weird.
Actually, fun fact, Israel, I'm not from the suburbs. I'm not. And
Yeah.
I think that's why I can fucking sit here and say that this is the stupidest fucking shit I've ever seen in my life.
Actually, where Jesse grew up, I wouldn't want to grow up there. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Like,
Jesse
it's just so
wasn't-
fucking dumb.
Jesse wasn't. I gotta be honest with you. Where Jesse grew up, I wouldn't want to grow up there at all. And I didn't grow up by any means in a rich neighborhood or anything like that. But I would never want to grow up where Jesse grew up. That sounded like it was horrible. Look at this. After the attack of Jorge Masvidal on Colby Covington.
Call this show your face challenge. You know, what's up? I'm from Dade County. You talk that shit, you gotta back it up. That's how my city rolls, man.
He's glued. You can't fix stupid, man.
It's almost like he's projecting it. Like,
what a role model. Oh, God.
no,
I'm not a deadbeat dad. Whoops. What the fuck? Oh, man. This is what I hope. I hope that he just kind of learns his lesson from this whole thing, and we don't have to fucking get any more of these ambushes. You know? You just signed this contract. Everything's, you got your 2 fight promotions. You got everything going on. And people saying he's high. He probably is, right? He looks zooted. He does look pretty zooted. By the way, does anyone wear their hat like that anymore, or is that a street thing, Jess? Who the fuck? Imagine I walked around my hat like that.
I don't know.
If I would look like Malibu's Most Wanted. Like what? Who does anyone wear their hat like it? I thought that shit was like, isn't that outdated? Is that still cool? Or
No,
not?
I've seen people still wear their hats like that.
Is that one's in the
I
chat?
think
If
it's
you
more
still
of
wear
a
your
kid
hat.
thing to do, though. Like, he's a grown ass man.
Yeah, I haven't worn my hat like that since I was like, damn man, I was in my teens. All right, one's in the chat if you wear your hat like that. No hate. I'm just curious. I want to take a poll here. Yeah, he probably is high. It's probably what it is. There's a reason why it's not in social anymore. Oh, what a mess. What a mess. I'm trying to fix it up here. Look at him dancing around the screen. Jorge doing his little Jorge dance. Poor kids. I don't think anyone
I
will.
don't know.
Here we go. Wildberry does. Hoodoo. All right, now send pictures. Send us pictures with your hat like that. When I'm high as fuck. All right, yeah, maybe you don't know which way the hat is. You're too high. I don't know.
Culture is not the same. Culture is not the same. Human beings are different races, and culture is their power. No, correction. It's called mental illness. It's not culture. It's about being a completely irrational human being. You're right. All people are different. Everybody thinks differently. Everyone reacts and behaves to things differently. When I get angry, I start screaming and getting completely irrational. But I don't go around fucking hitting people. When Moss gets angry, he's calm, cool, and collected. Everyone gets angry different. But there's absolutely no excuse to go around and just start fucking sucker punching people because they said a few mean words to you. That's beyond irrational.
I don't understand, though. Here's the thing. Like, he found success, Jorge. He found it. He's getting paid a lot of money. You know, he's not finding success in the fight game because he's losing, and that's probably where all this anger is coming from. But, you know, everything's great. You're not in the hood anymore. Everything's kosher. You know, like, what are we doing? If you were still on the streets, if you were slinging drugs or whatever, you know, and you fall into this trap and you want to do something like this, it's still not right, but it makes kind of more sense because here you are, you're on the streets, you're hanging out with a bunch of lowlifes. It is what it is. You know, you're around these people. You mean to tell me Jorge Masvidal has got all his money now and he's still hanging out slinging drugs on the streets or doing whatever? No.
Probably.
You think he's still doing it?
Probably. I'd be willing to bet.
Well, I hope he's all in. I hope Jorge's like, you know, I mean, is he selective thug? Like, is he a selective 1 minute he's a businessman and this and that, and next minute he's a thug? Like, I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense, but I'll never know, right? I'm not from the hood. I don't know. It sucks, man. Just a sucky. There's so many good people that we know that came from some of the. We've had people just like Mr. Howard coming on the show today. Doomsday. We've had people come on this show with really shitty lives. Probably shittier lives than Jorge. You mean to tell me Jorge had the worst life in the world? I'm sure he had a bad life. I'm sure things were rough when he was a kid. Not dismissing that in any way. But I bet we had people on the show with worse lives that would never do something like this. There's no honor in fighting. Don't be fooled. It's a blood sport. It says bout better. Jorge knows he'll get a slap on the wrist. To him, this is not a big deal like it is to you, says Israel Tadasanya. Yeah, well, that's the problem. Jorge Masvidal, John Jones, Conor McGregor. The reason why they make these mistakes is because...
They're not even mistakes. They did it because they know that they're not going to get severe punishment from it.
It's a cry. It's a cry for attention. That's what it is. And actually, it's weakness. Conor shows it. Jorge's showing it. John Jones shows it. Anytime these guys get into situations, it's weakness. It's when their life is in a bad place mentally, not physical. Well, then again, Jorge, it's got to be the losses. They got to be getting on him.
He was humiliated. Than just the loss. I think it's public humiliation.
He was humiliated.
I think his pride is getting in the way. And instead of looking at it like, hey, people are probably going to forget this a couple years down the road, he's looking at it as this is like the end of the world. And everyone's going to know that. Everyone's going to remember this. Like, that's how he's looking at it.
Now people will forget about me getting my ass beat for 5 rounds. Because I got 3 punches in off of an unexpected opponent. Like, it's crazy. All right, let's talk about this Conor situation over here. I read the story in his Bentley. It was seized in Dublin. And Conor back. Well, he got let off, right? With a little slap on the wrist situation. No,
yeah, he was
object.
Released on bail.
A little bail for Conor, so Conor's out. A very timely situation.
He's forced to appear in court next month, and they said a conviction could result in a fine of 5,000 euros or 6 months in prison or both.
All right. You think Conor does jail time?
I mean, with the amount of offenses this guy's got, it's only a matter of time before the judge says, all right, man.
Enough's enough, bro.
Time to do your time.
It is wild, man. It is wild.
But Conor's got the money to afford the best lawyer, so I'm sure he'll get out of it.
Yeah. Conor is a situation of someone getting into the game young, experiencing money young, and then when the losses started coming, he just started unraveling, you know, even though he's been bouncing back and forth. I'm hoping that Conor's story has a bright side at the end. I really do, because his rise was something special. Whereas Jorge had a different rise, right? Jorge went through, I mean, he was the blue-collar approach, Jorge Masvidal. He did his time, you know? So they had completely different rises. Conor had, you know, different successes. But it was fast. It was quick. Conor gets in there. He gets rich quick. He gets 2 belts. He's on the top of the world. He's the biggest athlete in the world. The Justin Bieber syndrome, where he's just basically, I'm going to fuck everything up now. Whereas Jorge Masvidal, it's baffling because you came from the streets. You're up and down. You're like a gatekeeper at one point. Not even a gatekeeper. You can't even find a weight class. Next thing you know, You get a couple of fights where you finish guys that are notable wins. People are loving it. You hit your stride at a late age. You should be mature. Now you got at, 37, 38 years old. Was he 37 or 38? The biggest contract you could ever think of. And then boom, it's like, it's wild. It's crazy, man. John Jones, the same thing. Like it's like these weird stories that put them in their situations. It's like, what are you doing? So it's a wild, wacky world, Jess. But I think Jorge Masvidal, he will fight again, right? I think. Do you think he's gonna do time?
No.
You don't think he will?
No, I don't.
Okay. Let me know in the chat. Yes or no? Do you think he's gonna do time? Looking at the poll, would Colby be a bitch for pressing charges? 66% say no, so we're gonna end that thing over there. All right.
Let's see, Kevin, that would be cool. There's other accomplices. Says Cheetos. Get a driver. Says Do Chronic. I'm from the streets. You're not from the streets. Says Casey Jones. Jorge ran up with 4 other people. I did see in the video that there were other people there. So it wasn't like he just,
They said there was like 5 guys or something like that. I don't think they threw any punches.
That's even worse, though. Like, when you got a posse around, like, it's just like, I don't know. That's even worse.
Has anyone been jumped before? I've been, actually, 2 guys that were older than me. They got me. But I knew it was coming, so it wasn't that bad. I could brace myself. But I had, thankfully, I don't know. All right, we'll get a couple more comments, then we'll move on, because I'm kind of getting sick of this shit.
Maybe now guys set Colby up?
Yeah, people are throwing that out there. That'd be so fucked up if they did that.
Real Talk Drunk says Leo England. Tony says, I thought Coas, the king of Miami, don't know. What did he say? I didn't read the rest of it. I've been chased with swords when I was inside a car in Saudi, says Kendall.
What the fuck?
Jesse, does Chris have girth? So much girth. Been there, done that, says Drunk Savage. Dude Chronic says, I think Colby was set up too. Cops will find the email. So keep talking to me, says Off Tomorrow. Eddie says, motherfuckers were trying to punt me in the head and everything. Ha 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 ha.
What the fuck? Oh my God.
Yeah, I've been jumped plenty of times, says Uncle Gozerian.
Yeah, it's got to be a horrific feeling, right? I've been in fights. Only one time I could think of that. It was just a complete mismatch of a mess. But, yeah, I couldn't imagine. I had a front row seat. I got into one bar fight that I made sure to hit this guy before he hit me, that's for sure. He got right up in my face, grabbed my shirt, this and that. I'm like, I gotta get my shot in. So I hit him, we tumbled to the ground. And then as we're rolling around, my buddy's trying to drag this guy off of me, and I look over to my right, and this dude just catches one. Kenny, did you ever meet Kenny?
No.
Oh my God. Blindsided. Fa-poom! Right to his. I was like, oh shit. He got cracked. Didn't even know it was coming. Like, that's just not cool, man. That's not cool. I don't know. Like, I mean, if you're fighting for your life and you're outnumbered or something, and you just like fight or flight, let me get the hell out of here. Okay, do what you got to do. But just to completely blindside someone like that, just nuts.
Wonderful, wonderful.
If you're really about that bussiness, you go handle bussiness by yourself, so there's no stitching. When there's multiple people, they will snitch 100%.
There you go. Yeah, you better make sure you go with the right people if you're going to go. Roberto knows. He came from a rough area, you know? I'm curious what Roberto thinks on this. Look at Roberto's a great story, right? He's someone that came from a rough area, and look at him. Roberto did jail time too, and now he's a huge success. Got his own business and the whole thing. He's not running around jumping people. Like, it's wild. All right, what other stories we got? I'm getting sick of this.
There's a bunch of different stories.
All right, hit me with them quick. We'll rapid fire, and then we'll get the fook out of here. Thank you again for stopping by, everybody.
Tyron Woodley rips Colby Covington if he tries pressing charges against Jorge. So Woodley's on Jorge's side, it sounds like.
Oh, they're buds.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Tyron's from the mean streets of St. Louis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Isn't he mean streets of Missouri?
I guess. Khamzat Chimaev wants to train with John Jones, saying he'll step aside for Usman McGregor title fight.
So, if you didn't listen to this, a bright spot of Ariel's interview. So Ariel had a special guest come on. It was Darren Till, right? Darren Till, of course, is butt buddies with Khamzat. They're best friends, BFFs. And boy, oh boy, was that fun to listen to. That was actually really good. Khamzat has not done an Ariel interview. Apparently he blocked Ariel maybe when Ali was involved. I don't know what that was about. But Khamzat kept on telling Ariel that, pay me. He's like, you ask me questions, pay me money, pay me money. It was so fucking funny to listen to. And they were just fucking with Ariel the whole time. But they are saying McGregor come this way. Mm-hmm. I would love to see that never happening. But, I mean, as a McGregor fan, go over there and get your shit pushed in by Khamzat Chimaev. You know? Go over there and fucking grind. I think Conor would come out a completely different human being if he did that, you know? But that's not going to happen. Conor's got too much money to go through that fucking meat grinder. What do you think, though? You think Conor would ever take up that offer?
No.
No, huh?
Nope.
Okay.
Let's see. Chael Sonnen is on, or has been suspended by ESPN as the Las Vegas battery case unfolds.
Yeah, this is crazy, huh? So ESPN is putting a little pause on the whole Chael Sonnen situation. The guy's doing great on YouTube. He's all over the place. Eagle FC. The whole situation where he was defending his wife. Now he's getting charged for battery. Could you imagine? I'm still Team Chael on this one. I have a feeling his story kind of makes sense. I don't think Chael's the type of guy that go out there and just start fighting guys for no reason. But could you imagine if Chael initiated this fight?
Well, he's another one. Like,
could you imagine? That'd be wild.
You
if
can't
that's
just
the case.
go out there and start hitting people, man. Like, it just you can't do that. You can't. The answer to all of our problems is not to just go out there and fucking.
There's no footage of this. There's nothing. I don't know. I mean, but if it's in a casino, chances are there are videos of this.
Then why haven't they been released? At this point, the news outlets someone would have gotten it.
It's probably for legal reasons, I would imagine. I would imagine that's what it is. But eventually, I'm sure if this thing does go to court or something, oh boy. I mean, I hope that's not the case. I hope people are like, hey, Chael, your wife's got a fat ass, and then Chael just starts fucking beating the shit out of him. You know, I hope that's not I hope that didn't happen, because you can't do that. I understand. I mean, he's Chael Sonnen, so you could get away like, hey, I'm Chael Sonnen. I do what I want. But that would be fucked up. I have to give Chael the benefit of the doubt. I just have to. There's got to be some sort of threat. Why would Chael go complete berserker?
Unless, like, the guy that he had hit, you know, was being aggressive towards him.
Maybe. I hope that's the case. Because that would be a bummer if Chael is guilty of this. What do you guys think in the chat about the Chael situation?
He will pay it to go away. Says bout better. Do Chronic says cops will. Dr. Boss says we should have legal duels. Chael is a badass. Guido says never lost a round. I doubt that. Why didn't Chael not publicize it? What do you mean? Why would he? Why would he just go out there and be like, hey, I just got in a fight the other night? Like, why would he do that? That doesn't make any sense.
It is funny when Chael is asked about it, and he's like, I was defending my hot ass wife. He just keeps on referring to her like she's a piece of meat. My hot ass wife. Yeah, it's fun. It's really funny. Eagle FC. I think he was talking to the schmo. When you have a hot ass wife like I have, he does this thing with the Trump thing. Where did that come from? I don't remember him.
I think he's always done that.
I don't remember though when he was in the UFC doing this.
I think he's always done that.
Like the Cartman hands, the Donald Trump hands. When you have a hot-ass wife like me, free Chael Sonnen will be next. Okay, what else we got?
Let's see. A lot of Khamzat in the news. Let's see. Conor McGregor joining forces would be the best thing he can do in his life. He says it'll be easier to smash Zero Wrestling Israel Adesanya than Kamaru Usman, saying I'll squeeze his head off.
Oh, that was hilarious, by the way, that line. So Ariel asked about, potential, middleweight matchups, welterweight, what's going on, this and that. And he was basically saying that Usman is a way tougher fight for him because he wrestles. Whereas Israel Adesanya, that was the quote. What did he say? Squeeze his head off? What was it?
He said, Izzy, I think it'll be more easy for me to smash that guy. He has zero wrestling. The guy he fought last time, he's not a wrestler. He took his back. If I take his back, brother, I'll squeeze his head off.
Yeah, he said it so confidently. And you know what? I think so, too. He's like, I'm big. He says he's going to go 3 belts. He goes welterweight, middleweight, light heavy. He's like confident. And the way Darren Till is all over him, like I have to believe everything this guy says. Like I feel
I don't.
Khamzat will dismantle Israel. I really believe it.
Yeah, I do think on the ground, yeah, it's another, yeah, it's.
I really do. Like, I mean, that, I kind of rather see that fight. That's fascinating to me. The Usman thing, yeah, I'm interested, but I don't know. For some reason, Izzy, with his stand-up game, his style, you know, the guy has been something very special at middleweight. Then you have Khamzat coming in there, this mystique. I wish we could just skip the middle part of the movie and go right to the end. Let's go. Are you scared? As an Izzy fan, would you be scared of Khamzat?
No, I don't really think that Khamzat's a threat to him right now. Like, I don't think he's going to be fighting Izzy anytime soon.
Well, that's true. That's true. But when it does happen,
obviously, I would be like, yeah, this is a problem for sure. But yeah, I'm not really worried about that.
It's wild, man. Khamzat's he's just got to beat Burns. Imagine he loses to Burns, though. I mean, everything falls apart. What is the weight on the shoulders of Khamzat Chimaev like? It doesn't seem like he's like anything rattles this guy, but you got to think he is human. Eventually, I mean, he's probably seen some crazy shit when he was younger, so maybe that's where it comes from. Maybe he's just dead inside.
I don't know.
Man, Khamzat's a scary human being. All right, anything else?
Ben Askren, according to MMAnews.com, agrees with Masvidal on the Leah Thomas controversy.
Who's Leah Thomas? I don't even know who that is.
So that transgender swimmer, so they've been that whole story has been the center of an ongoing debate about whether or not transgender women should compete in female sports. Thomas recently became the first openly transgender athlete to win in the NCAA Division I championship by winning the 500-yard freestyle race. Masvidal and Askren had a heated build-up before their main card fight, blah, 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 all that stuff. But basically, Askren tweeted, he said, if you think biological males should compete in female divisions, then you don't understand sports. And that's sort of the stance that Masvidal was taking. So Masvidal and Askren are on the same side with this whole thing. It's still a whole deal going on right now. And they posted, I actually just saw a picture of it on Facebook, the whole Leah Thomas thing.
Yeah, I don't even know who it is.
Yeah,
I don't even care.
It sucks because you see the other two girls standing on the pedestal in second and third place, and you see Leah Thomas, or quote Leah Thomas, standing on. What's
the name? Leah Thomas.
Yeah, L-I-A.
Oh, is this the one that there's like memes about? That I did notice. There were memes about. She couldn't win as a man, so she's sex change.
So he, when he was a he, actually did swim, like did this sport as in the male, like demographic, and then wasn't very good, and then became a female, and all of a sudden is a first place winner. And I think that's what the whole controversy is. Oh my God,
that's crazy. That's like country singers. They're all failed pop stars. They're like, I want to be a pop star. That's not going to work. I
think it's totally okay. Like, if a man wants to become a woman and wants to compete, that's fine. But maybe there should be a division for transgender males and transgender females.
Maybe we should just stop having sex
the playing
changes.
Field.
You know, I don't know. Man, this is a hot take. I have nothing. There's nothing.
A women's division, a men's division, and then 2 different transgender divisions.
Can't we? Okay, I know
Makes
this
sense.
is let me
biologically.
How can I word this? There's nothing wrong with lesbians and gay guys. There's nothing wrong with that. Why are we physically changing our bodies to become another sex?
I think it's what you had brought up. I think the world is overpopulating, and the human species is like evolving and adapting to overpopulation by like in some weird way having attraction
I think that's
to the same sex.
With gay people, yes. I think that is. I think that is a real thing. I think that is nature's way of saying, hey guys, you're fucking too much. There's too many people here. I do believe that. I also believe that's why there's wars and this and that. We're balancing the world. So I have no problem. But why are we ripping, like, why are guys ripping their junk off and then fucking shoving a gaping hole in there? Like seriously, like, I understand they feel like they were born in the wrong body, and I totally understand that.
That shouldn't even be a question if you understand that.
But here's the thing. To go through a surgery like this, you know, like, it opens up, it's kind of like time, if time travel was real, You don't go back in time and start changing shit. You know what I'm saying? Then it warps the future.
That's not even close to
Yeah,
a good analogy.
It's the same thing. If you time travel, because time travel is very real, and you go back in time and you start futzing with things, right? You start moving things around, it warps the reality of the future. What human beings are doing now is they're altering their body and trying to manipulate things to go in a direction that it wasn't meant to go in, right? We're fucking with nature. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to be gay, if you want to be a gay guy, knock yourself out. If you want to be a gay gal, knock yourself out. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But why alter yourself in the point of doing something like that? I mean, it sounds incredibly painful. And then they're competing with this advantage. You know, it's just it's so fucked up. This is a reason why it's a rough subject. Because what's happening is people are trying to, like, it's not like he's purposely trying to, hey, let me get a sex change so I can get an edge. I hope that's not the case. By the way, he still looks like a guy.
Well, of course. He's not going to look... What do you expect? Like,
did he get the whole change, the whole thing?
I honestly, I would assume so. If he's or she is competing in the women's division now, then yeah, I would assume that he is now biologically a she.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, and if you do that, listen, apparently you can do that. So it's just my opinion. You know, I have nothing. And if you do it, I hope you live a great life. You know, it's okay. But you know, now you're opening these situations here where people.
There's no situation. There should be a women's division, a men's division, and then a female and male transgender division.
That's crazy.
That's not crazy. If people want all of this to end, all this controversy, and they still want to allow transgenders to compete, that's the way to do it. It's not that fucking hard.
But we're creating...
Open up 2 new divisions.
But think about this, though. Now you're encouraging people that are on the fence. Because there are some people out there...
No. Back up. You
are.
don't encourage people to become transgender just because there's a transgender division. If someone wants to transition, they're going to do it no matter what. Give them a division to compete in.
Your people that are on there is a group of people that are on the fence.
That's their personal decisions.
Hold on.
That has nothing to do with having a transgender division.
Can I talk?
You're saying you're encouraging people to transition.
Yes.
That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
What's happening here is people are like,
now you're starting to sound a little phobic.
Hold on. Okay, I'm gay. I love cock. I love cock tremendously. If I was a woman, I can experience it like a woman. But you know what? I don't think I want to do that. Because that surgery, it just sounds dangerous, and I don't know. I like to swim. You mean there's a transgender swimming section? Ah, fuck it. I'll put the vagina in. You know what I'm saying?
No, that doesn't make any sense. The whole point of the transgender division is to make sure competition is equal.
Why are you getting so mad?
Because you're sounding so fucking retarded. I'm trying to stop you from going down that. First of all, gay is not transgender. God. It's not the same thing.
Okay.
So you can't be gay and be like, oh, let me just chop my cock off so I can join the transgender division. It doesn't work that way.
Okay, why are you getting so mad? I'm just having a conversation with you.
Like, stupidity drives me insane.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It just...
all right. I'm sorry I'm not well-versed in the transgender community.
It's not hard to figure out.
But anyway, hold on. You're saying gay is not transgender. It is. Wait, hold on a second. All right, so I'm just trying to get this right. You're...
Wonderful.
Try to figure
Jesse,
this out.
you are right, but the reason why it's a ridiculous idea is because this division would not have too many competitors. They'd be competing against each other every weekend. And that's the whole point. We cater to 1%. Mental illness is real.
Okay, so here's the thing. If your logic, if everyone else has the same logic as you, Kainoto, which they very well might, to where there's not enough people to compete in the transgender division, so that's why they don't make it, fine. Then don't fucking complain when a transgender is competing in whatever division that they're identifying in.
But
you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Okay, but Jesse, I think you're missing the point. That's the problem here. We don't have enough transgender athletes.
Then don't allow them to compete.
So what's going to happen is this. There's always, if you do something, you open something up, you open up another box, another wormhole where we just fucking fall down it, right? So what's going to happen is now people will be like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to be a transgender here and I'm going to give this a go. You know,
No,
people
people don't just do that. People don't just go, oh, well, this seems like a good idea. Let me undergo thousands of dollars worth of surgery and plenty of weeks and months of recovery just so that I can do this. Then nobody does that.
Why are you getting so mad?
Because it's so stupid. It's just so fucking stupid.
You're acting like Jorge Masvidal now.
God.
You need to. I know she's missing the point.
It's so fucking stupid.
Okay, I'm not yelling though. I'm not yelling. I'm fine. I'm completely fine.
Good for you. I'm happy for you. Would you like a trophy for not yelling?
I'm just having a debate here, okay?
I don't want this debate anymore.
You just told me that gay people aren't transgender, right?
LGBTQ. The G stands for gay. The T stands for transgender.
Okay, I understand that. Like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, a gay person turns into a transgender.
Not all gay people are transgender.
The gay people.
That's why they have two different identities.
The gay people that turn into transgenders are the caterpillars. The butterfly is the transgender, the final product here. Okay? So Jesse wants to make a butterfly weight class or a butterfly group in the Olympics. Okay. Here's my problem. When we start, like there's breast implants, there's penis enlargements, there's all that stuff. It's crazy. I think that's ridiculous too. Honestly, I think it's stupid. Why
That's irrelevant. That has nothing to do with changing your gender.
Okay, but people do these things because they want to feel better about themselves, right? People become transgenders because they feel that they were born in the wrong body. So I understand the logic behind it, okay? But what I'm saying is, when you fuck with Mother Nature, there are severe consequences.
Okay.
It happens all the time. And what
are your consequences?
And as a human race, we're already self-destructing with this going on, right? With the heterosexual people, we're self-destructing. By messing with genetics and messing with people's bodies and morphing them into other sexes here, I understand people feel like they are having better lives and this and that. And listen, if it works for them, that's great. But then we have situations like this, where men are fighting women, tranny or not, it's men fighting women. This is what's happening. Do you understand? We're seeing it. Now you want to start a whole other division of this for transgender people.
I didn't say I want to. I said if this is going to be an ongoing argument and everyone's like, oh, well, what do we do? That's what you do.
But don't you see it making the situation worse? Like, okay, you don't have men beating up women.
But what business is that of yours?
Okay, all right, forget
what they're doing with their body.
All right, we disagree.
So make the division, and whoever wants to chop their dick off or wants to put a dick on, that's their business. Why is it your business? You either support the division or you don't. It's very simple. It's really not that hard.
I know it is simple. I think I explained it pretty well, but it's okay. Let me know in the chat what you guys say as we're trying to have a healthy debate here. I don't know. We're on different sides, so let me know what you guys think. I know it's a very controversial subject, so listen, I know it's touchy, and at the end of the day, I just want people to be happy. Okay? I don't care. If people are transgender and that makes them happy, then fine. It's all right, whatever.
Wonderful.
Just dropping my 2 cents, that's all.
They need to just make a well, aren't you, Special Olympics and fashion show, and they can get it on every 4 years and leave the rest of us alone.
Thank you. All right, let's see what the chat has to say here. A hot topic tonight.
Let's see. Guido says Gash is trans and only fights dudes in street beefs and does great. What's the other excuses then? Off Tomorrow says, guys, take it up the ass to get dopamine in their brain. You stupid little dumb fuck. Shut the fuck for once in your lives, you know. And I couldn't read the rest. It was too much. Whoa, you're an angry person.
I don't know. It's, very bitter. They're speaking into it. So the best part is, you notice, did you see the...
Oh, voice to text?
So the best part is they got their phone up.
Shut the fuck up!
You're not even texting it. So if there's someone else in the room, and if there's no one in the room, you're just fucking screaming into your phone. I love it, man. Look. Where is it? Oh, shit, it's censored. Oh, I wish you... Oh, bro. You just exposed yourself. Oh, damn, man. It doesn't show it over here. Say something different so it shows. So we know you're speaking into... You're actually screaming into your phone. I love this shit, man. It doesn't get any better. All right, let's move over here. Here's a meme that they want us to show. What is this?
I won that women's swim race fair and square. If they don't like it, they can suck my dick.
All All right, Jess. What do you say about this?
Nothing. What do you want me to say about it?
Okay.
There's nothing to say. It's just fucking complete idiocracy.
All right. Well, I hope you're having fun tonight. I hope you had fun tonight since we are going late. We're going too late into this show. Did we go 42 minutes over? We went way over. Wow. What time are we supposed to stop this thing? I don't even know anymore. This clock is wrong.
42 minutes ago.
Was it really?
Mm-hmm.
Did we go 42 over?
Yep.
Damn, you got some extra show tonight. So I hope you appreciate that.
Wonderful.
I love what this big unit is doing to all the women. All the virtue signalers talked about this shit for years, and now that it's a reality, they can't say shit. They're backed up into a corner. They want to defend women now but can't.
So is it women who are upset about this or men? Who's upset about this? Enlighten me. I would love to know. Clearly there's an uproar, or is it both?
I think both. I would say both are upset because honestly...
Because you can't really say that unless it is, in fact, women, or a majority of women, who are upset about this whole fucking thing. But something tells me it's not women. Something tells me.
Yeah, I mean, it's like performance enhancing drugs. Like it's like a cheat route to steroids. You know, like you can't take steroids. You can't do that.
So let's
be tested.
change our whole body.
So
and
people, well, they're getting an edge.
Doesn't make any sense.
If you're a transgender person, you shouldn't be competing against women. You shouldn't. It's just. I mean, I think. I understand you want to be a woman. I get that, but unfortunately, you weren't put on this planet built like that. You know what I'm saying? So. You see,
but that's neither here nor there. Like that's the business of the person doing it. We're talking about how can we make it fair in sports.
You just don't do it.
Because here's the thing. People are going to do it no matter what. They're going to change their bodies, and it's only going to, it's very socially acceptable.
So, all right, let me ask you a question. Should they make a steroid division? Should they make
that is not even close to the same thing.
Well, think about it.
No, it's not.
Well, think about it.
People are identifying as a completely opposite gender.
I identified as a juice head steroid guy, right?
What?
That's
no,
I believe.
Oh my God, you sound so ridiculous.
I believe that steroids should be taken in all sports. We should have an optimal advantage, okay? But it's not fair. So what we should do is have a steroid division.
Have your steroid division, but let's talk about how we can make transgenders in sports fair. Because honestly,
or stop becoming transgenders and just know.
You can't just say don't be a transgender.
All right.
You can't just do that. You can't do that to someone. You can't do that.
You can't have, in life, you can't have everything you want.
You're right. You can't have everything you want. So there's going to be transgenders in the world. You're going to have to deal with it.
I'm not saying, listen, I don't give a shit. It doesn't bother me. I'm not losing any sleep. I didn't even know about this.
You could have fooled me.
I had no, I'm not upset.
You keep suggesting that people are just willy-nilly going out there and changing their gender because they want an advantage.
I don't give a fuck what anyone does. I don't care. I am just talking from my opinion. I am not going on the internet, posting memes and yelling with people. I'm not yelling at you. I'm just sitting here having a conversation.
This is the most ridiculous conversation I've ever had.
Transgender people can do whatever the fuck they want. If you want to fucking chop your dick off and put a pussy there, that's fine. If you want to get fucking fun bags, if you want to throw silicone into your chest, knock yourself out. But for me, I think it's silly. That's just my opinion. Now, if I'm not allowed to have an opinion, what the fuck kind of world do we live in? I'm allowed to have an opinion. It's just not, I just don't understand it. And maybe it is what it is.
I feel like, okay, I get it. I'm just saying, I'm getting this impression that you don't want to understand it because some of your arguments just make absolutely no sense.
Wonderful. I'm not yelling or screaming. I don't care.
Stop saying that. Nobody cares if you're yelling or screaming.
I've never grown up. I still act like a 12-year-old boy. It's my identity. I'm joining the teen boys wrestling team. Giggity giggity.
Yeah, what about that, Jess? What about that?
What? This is not even the same thing, Moss.
What are you talking about?
You're talking.
Think about that analogy.
This is so fucking stupid. Changing your gender, Moss.
I'm not telling them not to do it. If they want to do it, do it.
I didn't say that.
I just don't think it's.
I never said you said that. I'm saying you're suggesting that people are just going out there and changing their genitals so that they could have an advantage in sports. That's what you're suggesting.
Well, let me give you this. No, wait, hold on. I never said that.
I said suggesting.
Okay, well,
suggesting is not saying.
Well, hold on a second. I said there could be people on the fence. Here's the thing. If you're on the fence with something, right, and you're teeter-tottering back and forth.
They're not going to do it for a sports advantage.
Can I talk? When you're teeter-tottering back and forth, okay, and you're like, which way I'm going to go? I don't know. And then something gets thrown in your lap. I'm not saying that situation. Anything. It sways you to go in a direction. Now, this is a severe sway. But it could happen. Like, it could. It could happen. And people could become a transgender.
All right, this is retarded.
That's not what I'm trying to fucking say. The moral of the story is I think transgender situations to get the surgery is dumb. That's what I think. I think it's just dumb altogether.
Okay.
I don't get it. But if you want to do it, you can do it. When I was a kid, I wanted to be black. This is a true story. When I was a kid, I wanted to play basketball, and I yearned to be a young black man. I did. My fucking idol was Isaiah Thomas on the Pistons. I had a giant poster on my wall, and I would dream about him. I would masturbate to. No, that's a joke. But if I was gay, I would have masturbated to that poster. I wanted to be Isaiah. Now imagine I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do the reverse Michael Jackson, and now I'm gonna fucking make myself black, and I'm gonna make my dick really long. Think about it. I didn't go through with that, Jesse. And I'm a hairy white guy.
Whether they're doing it for an advantage or not, there is an advantage in lungs and heart in bone, and those cannot be changed. You cannot change your sex. Suggesting you can is not objective truth. It's encouraging mental illness.
Thank you. That's what's happening. It's true. It is true.
I'm not gonna have this conversation anymore. This is fucking stupid. I realize, like, this is fucking retarded.
Now, here's the thing. There is a debate, and it's a very controversial one. Is it mental illness? Is it genetics? Is it whatever? I don't have the answer. I don't have the answer in that. I don't know what it is. I don't know why people go through that. I am not them. I'm not in their shoes. So I can't really judge that. All I could say as a heterosexual person, it's just tough for me to understand. And I would hope a transgender person would understand that it's tough for me to understand that, because there are tough things that they're going through that we can't understand, they can't understand, whatever. Everyone has things that they just completely can't understand. If they do
I can't grasp what is so difficult for you to understand.
We have different opinions. That's the beauty of being a human being. That's the beauty of living in America.
That doesn't answer what I'm saying. I can't get what is so difficult for you to understand.
It's the difference between you and me. I am open-minded. If people want to be transgender and that makes them happy, knock yourself out.
Why is that a difference between you and me?
Because I'm telling you that I'm not telling people not to do it. I don't understand it, but just do it.
My question to you is, what don't you understand?
Why do I have to understand it?
You're not answering.
Okay, I just told you before. I don't understand it because human beings are made to self-destruct. We can't genetically change our gender. We can't do that. That's opening a can of worms. It could potentially kill you. There could be health side effects to it. We don't know what the fucking thing.
But they go into that knowing full well that is the risk.
So then that's mental illness. Then you're admitting that's a mental illness. Why would you go through something like that trying to kill yourself because you want to be another sex? That would be mental illness.
Well,
right?
I mean, I guess you could argue that, sure. I don't think so. I think that if they are identifying that way, if they feel that way, I mean, so I don't understand how that's mental illness.
Well, there you go. But see, that's what I'm saying. That's what people, I'm speaking for a specific group of people that think that way, right? People are like, well, that's mental illness. That doesn't make any sense, right? It's not logical to think that, to put yourself through that. You could possibly kill yourself. Now, there is the other argument on the other side that thinks otherwise. I'm not saying don't do it. That's horrible. You're a fucking asshole. I don't agree with it, but I don't control their lives. I just don't understand why it's a thing. I don't understand. I can't wrap my head around the fact that people are going through this. Be gay. Be happy. If you feel like you're a woman, but you're born a man, you got to, if you're dealt that hand, you can't just put the hand down and say, shuffle the deck, let's play again. You're stuck with that hand. You got to play it.
Okay.
If you're playing poker, you could fold.
Mm-hmm.
But can you switch cards?
I'm not going to delve further into this conversation. Right. I think it's a little silly.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's getting a little ridiculous.
Well, listen. That's our thoughts on this. And I know it's controversial. I know people are heavy on one side, whatever side it is. At the end of the day, though, the big problem that people are having is people that were born as a man competing against women. That's what it comes down to. There's the consequence that I was talking about. You know, human beings keep on evolving, but at the same time, as we evolve, it spirals into fucked up shit.
Gonna smash. Gonna smash.
I'm gonna beat everybody. I'm gonna finish 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 everybody.
I'm gonna smash everybody.
Awesome interview tonight.
Thank you, B-Man. Appreciate that. The $9 donation.
Wonderful.
And I want to thank John Howard for coming on. All right, we ended this. This is a great way to run into our comments next after the stream is done. So once it's processed, go in the comment section, knock yourself out, debate away. Talk about whatever topic you'd like to talk about tonight. The Masvidal situation, the Conor situation, Khamzat Chimaev, Doomsday fighting next week on the main channel, the MMA Holes. Make sure you subscribe to our main channel, the MMA Holes, the MMA Holes, 60,000 subscribers. This channel will go back to gaming again next week, but this week we'll just continue our shows until that's done. And the fight's happening on Saturday. We'll be reacting to on this channel. Blaydes versus CRIS Daukaus going down in Ohio. You got some interesting fights on this thing. By the way, people are, I saw B-Man's, he's putting a lot of money on Askarov over here. Damn, this is dangerous, this fight. I think Askarov could be a champ. He's that good. But at the same time, Kai France he's a nasty son of a bitch. This is a really good scrap. Some really good fights on this card. We went way too deep, so we're going to have to roll this into the Friday night show. So tune in on this channel this week where we'll discuss more of Blaydes versus Daukaus, but we got to get out of here.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll be live again on Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time for Fuka Friday. Make sure you guys hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, and thank you so much to our sponsors, Head Rush, Sheath Underwear, MyBookie.ag, UFC on ESPN Plus, and Undisputed Belts. Promo code MMA-HOLES. That's MMA-HOLES for all of your discounts on all of your favorite products. As always, don't be an a-hole, be an MMA hole.